Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
It is back on the road for the Diamondbacks. We are in Pittsburgh, where the rivers conflue, as the major's best team in July begins August with a weekend series against the Pirates on D-Backs TV. Good afternoon from steamy PNC Park. Welcome in. Steve Berthium and Luis Gonzalez here with you. Diamondbacks sorry to see July go. The D-backs last month were 17-8, the best record of the major league. So now, Gonzo, as we head into August here, the question for you is, can they keep this offense rolling?
Well, I tell you, the key for me has been the two guys behind the plate, Gabby Moreno and at third base Suarez. They really got hot in July, and we're hoping that they can carry that into August for the team.
I mean, you expect good numbers once the summer gets here and guys heat up, but look at this, number one across the board offensively.
It's incredible when you think about it, and I think the key for them has been winning series. They've gone out there and they won 2 out of 3. This last series at home, they swept all 3 games. It's been a plus for them in July.
So July is done. Here we are into August, and this is Torey Lovello's favorite month.
August, I feel like everybody's posturing, and you know who you are at that time of the year. You know where your best players are, who's going to carry the workload, and for me, it's always been the month where the teams that are supposed to move are able to move in the right direction.
Well, you saw those terrific offensive numbers last month. They lose Christian Walker, but Josh Bell, the former Pirate, joins the team here in Pittsburgh.
Well, this is a guy who's going to have to pick up in the middle of the order. Christian Walker did a fantastic job for us all season. When he comes back and Josh Bell, it's going to extend that lineup a little bit deeper. Should be a lot of fun.
Bell acquired from the Marlins at the trade deadline, met the team here, and he's in the lineup tonight. This is where the wild card situation stands for the moment. As of today, Gonzo, Diamondbacks are in.
Boy, they've put themselves in a great position. They've gone out and acquired a few players here with the addition, and then some guys that have been injured are starting to come back, so it should be fun here in the month of August.
You see those Pirates, 2 games over 500, only 2.5 back for a wild card. Brandon Pfaadt gets the start tonight here at PNC Park. Todd Walsh joins us with a starting lineup right after this break.
Diamondbacks baseball, presented by Major League Baseball, is brought to you by Chaz Roberts, serving you since 42. Sanderson Ford. The best play on a new vehicle is at Sanderson Ford. And by Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. the richest and best rewards in the Valley.
D-Backs TV is up and on the air. The venue, PNC Park in Pittsburgh this weekend. The Pirates and the Diamondbacks game one just around the corner. I'm Todd Walsh. We're here hanging out, as we always are, just outside the Arizona Diamondbacks dugout at field level. We'll get to the starting lineups in just a moment, but first, the lead story going into this game, clearly, Torey Lovullo announcing that, yes, closer Paul Sewald has been removed from that position. The question earlier today, is it permanent? The answer, not necessarily.
We're going to just take him out of that role, let him catch his breath, and he's going to tell us when it's the time. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And if we're winning games, we're winning games. I have to make some tough decisions. It wasn't a very popular decision. I spent a lot of time on this over the past 36 hours, and I've had a lot of tough conversations with people around me. But this I have to do what's best for the team.
A specific closer has not yet been named. It will reveal itself as the game wears on and the road trip. Now to the starting lineups. Derek Shelton's Pittsburgh Pirates just split 6 games on the road to Houston and Arizona. As you saw, 2.5 games behind the Diamondbacks for that final wild card. And we're highlighting O'Neill Cruz, and why not? Remember what we saw he did at Chase Field, a 472-foot home run in Game 2, and then a 408-foot blast in Game 3, his 10th and 11th home runs of the year. Now to Torey Lovullo and the Diamondbacks, averaging 6.6 runs per game in the month of July. And we're going to zero in on Gino Suarez. Remember, he was our candidate for the National League Player of the Month. You can't argue it. He loved our slogan, "We know it's Gino." We'll hear from him a little bit later on. Also, we'll see Josh Bell right there in the heart of the order, batting cleanup and playing first base. We'll get to a break. As we do so, time to take a look at our bet 365, and the focus of that is tonight's starting pitcher, Brandon Pfaadt.
There's a look at downtown Pittsburgh, the Allegheny, the Ohio, and the Monongahela, the confluence here, the Three Rivers area. The north side notch, the whole thing. Welcome in. It is hot.
Yes, it is.
Steamy here in downtown Pittsburgh. First of 3 Diamondbacks and Pirates. Welcome to it. Steve Berthiaume, Luis Gonzalez, and Todd Walsh here with you. Diamondbacks begin August having posted the Major League's best record in July. Gonzo 17-8 last month. That's the 6th best month in Diamondback history.
Well, it's incredible. I mean, they put together a good string of going out there and winning series, and I think that's been the most important thing. Got some hitters that struggled the first couple months of the season, really got going here in July and now carrying into August. So we're hoping that they continue that trend to take us right into postseason.
Look at the guy on the far right. Recognize him? You haven't seen him yet this year. That's Eduardo Rodriguez. Just finished one of his sim games. He is here with the team, and there's a very good chance, it appears, he will make his Diamondback debut next week with Cleveland.
Yeah, he was getting on the bus today, and somebody had to stop him and ask him who he was getting on the bus. But
hey,
it's great to see him back. He's fired up. I talked to him a little bit today, and he's anxious and eager to get out there and pitch for the D-backs.
Yeah, he's been working his butt off, Torlavello told us today. It's great to have him here as the Pirates take the field in their City Connect yellow jerseys on a gorgeous night here in downtown Pittsburgh. Diamondbacks rolling. They've won 7 of 8 and 13 of their last 17 games, and they take on the Pirates for the second consecutive weekend. And getting the start for Pittsburgh tonight is Luis Ortiz. We just saw him, 25-year-old right-hander, facing the Diamondbacks for the second time this week.
Yeah, and there you see their 63 strikeouts in 78 innings. He's going to be a guy that features a good four-seamer, the sinker, the slider, the cutter, the change. He's got a little bit of everything, so he's going to try to mix it up against the D-backs.
Half the field for the moment covered in shadow as we get a look around the diamond at the Pirates defensively tonight.
Yeah, defensively, I want to highlight this guy. Everybody talks about O'Neal Cruz. He's kind of in a fielding slump right now. Had a bad fielding series against the Astros, and then not swinging the bat quite as well. So let's hope he stays on that track here in this series against the D-backs.
You can see him at shortstop fighting the sun. That shadow is cutting right across the shortstop area, covering most of the infield for the moment. So, and there's a look. The left fielder here. Left field is the tough field in the outfield in this ballpark. If you get the north side notched by the bullpens there, 4-10 in left center, and they'll be fighting the sun out there for the moment.
Well, they always try to put the good athletes out in left field, so you know he's got to fight that sun a little bit.
There are always exceptions, we should point out. Ramon DeJesus is our plate umpire calling balls and strikes, and we're set to go with Corbin Carroll leading off. Glad you're with us on D-backs TV. First of 3 from beautiful PNC Park. Saw the numbers on Corbin. He's been heating up lately. Begins the month of August having reached base in 18 consecutive games. And Brian Hayes in on the grass at third. And there's ball 1.
Right, and you know, with Corbin hitting .215, everything is forgotten here if you get hot in these last 2 months of the series and can carry your ball club into the playoffs.
Tell you, Gonzo, you see right there, he's trending in a very good direction. And we've seen a lot of power lately from Corbin. Hayes still in on the grass, and it's ball 2. Corbin has scored 16 runs with 16 RBIs during that 18-game streak, and along the way has 6 home runs, so the power has suddenly arrived in July, and we'll see if it carries over into August. Not much wind to speak of right here. It's different in different spots and a very humid day here. There is some wind, it looks like, blowing out toward that left field scoreboard. Well, Tel Marte on deck, 3-0 on Corbin.
Yeah, you're right. It was pretty stale out here for batting practice and earlier in the day.
Fastball's a strike on 3-0. Luis Ortiz, just saw him last week at Chase Field. Corbin down the line. That's a fair ball. It's headed down the 320 mark in right field. Corbin Carroll thinking 3, and he's on the run. Close at third, and he's in there. It gets behind Hayes, and Corbin Carroll goes all the way around. De La Cruz, just acquired for the Marlins, fished it out of there in that corner, and the relay got behind third base, and it's quickly 1-0 Diamondbacks.
Boy, this is a nice job by Corbin Carroll. You know already that's going to be a double, but he's thinking triple right out of the box, shoots into that corner. Little tough play there getting it out, but you know, when you get it to Cruz there, he's got the plus arm. Here he puts his burners on.
And then the throw gets into third. It looked like they had a play on him, but it was a wild throw. Got behind Brian Hayes, and Corbin Carroll takes the turn all the way around as Ketel Marte swings and misses at a cutter from Ortiz. Brian De La Cruz in that corner, just acquired for the Marlins the other day. Already a rough start. Here's the numbers on Ketel, 302 with 24 home runs.
Well, I think Hayes didn't think he was going to go after that ball got by him. The way he went for that ball off the fence there, and he kind of caught him off guard, knowing that Corbin Carroll was going to try to get the Little League homer.
It scored a triple. They give the error to O'Neill Cruz. You mentioned a fielding slump on the relay through. He might have thrown it away, but it's a triple and an E6. And a quick Diamondback lead. The 0-2 to Cattell.
Well, this is definitely a good way to start the series.
How about that, huh?
When you talked earlier about the way these guys played in July, you could see the swagger starting to come back. Kind of reminded us a little bit of last year, the way they were kind of carrying themselves in the locker room with that confidence going in late into the season.
It really did start in June when they started to claw their way back from well below 500, and then July they just got rolling. Diamondbacks have won 7 of 8, 13 of 17, holding that final wild card spot for the moment. They got several teams right behind them, including these Pirates. And Cattell doesn't offer at that one, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jock Peterson finally getting some playing time after 3 straight lefty starters against the Nationals. Waiting on deck, he's the DH. And Marte fouled that one back. Cattell with a .910 OPS. That is tied with Bryce Harper for 3rd in the National League, behind only Shohei Ohtani and Marcell Ozuna.
Boy, this guy's really done a fantastic job this season. He's come in healthy. He's been playing hard every single day right out through spring training and all the way up to the season. He's an all-star. He's probably going to get a lot of MVP votes too at the end of the season.
He should. If you look at OPS and wins above replacement, he's among the best in the league. And Cattell, this one might stay playable for Hayes, drifting way over there up the line, and he can't quite get there. And Cattell, it wasn't just Gino Suarez. We know it's Gino. Marte was right behind him all month long in July. He hit .357 last month with 7 home runs.
Yeah, and him and Christian Walker, really the 2 guys that have been the steady eddies all year. I know Christian just went out with that oblique, but I mean, Marte has to continue to keep this trend, and then hopefully Josh Bell coming in the middle of the order to pick up that slack that Christian's going to leave behind.
Gino 7th in the lineup tonight. Josh Bell in the cleanup spot in his Diamondback debut. There goes another one off the bat of Cattell Marte, and it nearly cleared the ballpark. His 25th, and the first 2 batters for the Diamondbacks have gone all the way around. That jumped off the bat and hit that back fence back there and nearly went into the Allegheny River.
420 feet. That ball got out in a hurry.
Yeah, it did.
I think the key for him was he fouled off some tough pitches and got that fastball right down the heart of the plate. Put a good swing on it.
Boy, that had a hit me sign on it for sure, and he did not miss it. What a start. 2-0. Here's Peterson. Looking forward to seeing Jock get some at-bats in this ballpark. It's only 320 down that line in right field. They have the 21-foot high scoreboard fence out there, but this is a great ballpark for a left-hand batter. And Jock has been on a hitting tear these days. Turns that one down the line, but hooked it foul, the slider. That's a jumbo jack off the bat of Cattell Marte. Means a free jumbo jack for you tomorrow. At Jack in the Box with a purchase of a large drink. Cattell Marte's 25th. Gonzo, you are already behind in the promo count.
Yep.
Truck is all over you. Peterson launches another one, and that one's gone. Way out of here and into the river. The first 3 will go all the way around. It's floating in the Allegheny for Peterson's 16th. 430 feet. What a start. I think they're going to carry this momentum into August here, Gonzo, from July.
Well, I tell you what, they came out of the gate swinging today. Oh, he got a little breaking ball down in the strike zone, and that's a happy zone for a left-handed hitter. Hit that one 430 feet.
Watch where this one lands. We track it with our outstanding crew here in the ballpark. It cleared everything out there. Cattell's hit that back chain link fence, and Peterson's cleared it. And they are all over Luis Ortiz, who started last Friday at Chase Field. He gave up only 3 runs in that start over 5 innings. He's already given up 3 runs, 3 batters into this one.
Well, what do you think Josh Bell's thinking? His first D-back at bat, you've got a triple and 2 homers in front of you.
Pressure's on. You got to keep it moving, right? Here he is, Josh Bell, making his Diamondback debut, of all places, Pittsburgh, where he played here 5 years and was an All-Star. Acquired at the trade deadline for the Miami Marlins. He is the first baseman in the cleanup spot. Josh Bell joins the party. Way back and gone. Welcome to the Diamondbacks, Josh Bell, and what is happening in Pittsburgh? Wow! I'd say that trade worked out pretty well, Mike Hazen.
Sure has.
My goodness. Another one that left the ballpark entirely. Boom. His 15th of the year and his first as a Diamondback.
Boy, 96 down the middle, and he put a good swing on it.
The Corbin Carroll triple, scored on the E6, and then 3 consecutive home runs. And Lourdes Gurriel Jr. steps in. There's the strike. Boy, Ortiz, 27 appearances this year, only 5 of them starts. He had given up only 4 home runs all season. He's given up 3 in this inning. And it's 0-2 on Lourdes.
Boy, and I think when you get traded from one team to another, you want to make your presence known.
I think he just did.
He just did it on 1 pitch.
That was unbelievable. All right. Tough play. Who's going to get there? Nobody's home at first, and Tellez can't pick it up. Oh, the Pirates are falling all over the ballpark here. And the Boo Birds are out at PNC. Lourdes found no man's land out there, Gonzo.
Yeah, this just a lousy single here.
Boo.
He tapped that one off the end, and it was kind of in the middle there. First baseman Tellez, second base, nobody knows where to go. So
yeah, Triolo kind of went over toward the ball, and Ortiz never even bothered to go even halfway over to cover first. So Lourdes is aboard. First 5 have reached ahead of Gabriel Moreno. And look out. That's a 97-mile-an-hour fastball up and in, and Gurriel moves up. It's a home run derby, and it's broken out here in Pittsburgh, all Diamondbacks, and it's a 4-0 D-backs lead. 6 batters into the game.
I tell you, they just came out ambushing Ortiz, jumping on him early.
They still have not recorded an out, the Pirates, and that fastball missed. It's 2-0 on Gabby. 258, 4 homers, and a big series against the Nationals earlier this week. I tell you what, considering the ballpark and the fact that Josh Bell played here the first 5 years of his career, that is one of the more memorable Diamondback debuts in franchise history, given the context.
That's a 1-pitch impact that he just made.
It's unbelievable, out of the ballpark entirely. 2-1 to Gabby. It's 3 balls and a strike, and Ortiz is really on the ropes. There he is, Josh Bell, an all-star here in Pittsburgh.
And he'd been swinging pretty well before he got here in the trade.
Yeah, he was. He was hot with the Miami Marlins. And Ortiz, his wheels are falling off. Well, we know it's Gino, and here he comes, the hottest hitter in the National League, Eugenio Suarez. 230 and 16 home runs. Four runs in, still no outs. Gurriel's at second and Moreno's at first. Gino drives it high in the air. Deep left center. Reynolds in the notch at 410, and he has just enough room out there, the deepest part of the ballpark. Gurriel tags, and Suarez just missed another one. That's the wrong place to hit it here at PNC.
Well, you're right. He hit that about 407, 408 out there. He couldn't hit it any further in this ballpark and keep it in play.
Well, they moved Gurriel up 90 feet. That's the first out in the ball game, and the 8th man to bat in the Diamondback first is Alek Thomas. Already 4 runs on 5 hits. They hit 3 consecutive home runs. Marte, Peterson, and Bell in his Diamondback debut. It all started off with that Corbin Carroll triple. Alek double triple, drove in a couple of runs in the National Series this week. In center field tonight, batting 8th. That's got to be a tantalizing short 320 line down that right field notch for a left-hand batter in this ballpark. You've got the 21-foot high fence, number 21 for the great Roberto Clemente, but that seems awful close.
Yeah, it is, and what it does, it kind of almost takes the left-handed hitter out of the game because you try to pull the ball.
It's hard to blame him. O'Neill Cruz for 1. Triolo can't turn it. Gurriel's home, and it's 5-0. Alek too quick up that line. And here comes Geraldo Perdomo.
That's a nice hustle right there by Alek Thomas. Just getting that run in, knowing you could beat it out at first base. Get that extra run tacked in.
You talk about hot hitters. Perdomo coming off a tremendous Washington series earlier this week. Perdomo 6 hits, 5 RBIs. He scored 4 runs in those 3 games against the Nationals. Diamondback got their 2nd series sweep of the year. And off to a good start here tonight. We talked a lot about Gino Suarez and Ketel Marte's month, but kind of quietly, Perdomo scored 19 runs in 23 games in July. He finished the month tied for 4th in the National League in runs scored.
Well, look at that stat right there on the screen there. 10th time this season they've scored 3 or more runs, first in the majors.
They have been among the best teams in the majors in terms of scoring first or scoring in the first inning. Alek down there at first, 2 outs, 5 runs already home. Fastball's a strike at 94, and it's 1-2. Nice comfortable lead for Brandon Pfaadt, who gets the baseball to open up this road trip.
Boy, I tell you, Ortiz has just labored this inning. He's had to throw a lot of pitches.
Up over 30 now. Pirates have their 2 best pitchers going the rest of this series. Mitch Keller Saturday, and then Paul Skeens, the all-star starter. And the finale here Sunday. Sliders in there for a strike. What a start for the Diamondbacks. A 5-run first. Corbin Carroll got it started with a triple down the right field line. And then the home run derby broke out. Marte's 25th. Jock's 16th. Josh Bell, 1 swing into his Diamondback career, and it's 5-0 D-backs. 3 consecutive Diamondback home runs. Top first, creates a 5-0 lead. Bottom one for the right-hander Brandon Pfaadt, who was facing the Pirates for the second time in a week after beating Pittsburgh last Saturday at Chase Field.
He's been one of their consistent starters for the D-backs all season long. Looking for another one right here, already spotted with a 5-run lead.
And strike one to Andrew McCutchen, the DH in the leadoff spot. That's foul at third. It's 0-2 on McCutchen, who singled and had RBIs in each of his last 2 games in the Pirates series at Houston this week. They took 2 of 3. He is 2 RBI shy of 800 for his career as a Pirate. And of course, he is one of the iconic players in this franchise history. All-star Brian Reynolds on deck behind him. McCutchen gets it up in the air, right center field. Corbin Carroll and Alec Thomas, and Corbin breaks away to let Alec take it as we get a look around the diamond at the D-back defense.
Well, I'm going to drop in the impact player right now. One pitch, one homer guy, Josh Bell, getting the start today. Newly acquired for the Diamondbacks at first base. 6'4", 260 pounds. So he's a big presence walking around, and also a big target for those guys in the infield to throw across the diamond.
And he certainly has already made that presence felt with a home run on 1 swing as a Diamondback. Here's Reynolds, the All-Star. Second time in his career he's been a National League All-Star. Diamondbacks did not see Reynolds at Chase Field last weekend. He was on the bereavement list. He'd been also dealing with some back spasms, but having a good year. 285 and 18 homers. There's the sinker running away for the lefty. Ball and a strike. Reynolds missed 4 games for the Pirates, but came back for their series at Houston this week, where he singled twice. Also struck out 5 times against the Astros. And there's a swing and a miss on that Pfaadt sweeper. It's 1-2.
Well, I tell you, Josh is going to be good at first base, but you are going to miss Christian Walker, the way he plays over there. The defensive runs that he saves out there at first base, hitting for power.
Called strike 3. Caught him looking at a sinker. First strikeout for Brandon Pfaadt. And there's 2 outs of the first.
This is that sinker right on the inside part of the plate. You see that ball tailing right back over the plate.
Here is O'Neill Cruz, who a week ago at Chase Field caught Brandon Pfaadt for a 472-foot home run that had to be seen to be believed. That's after he hit the pickup truck in batting practice, dented it. He homered twice at Chase Field last weekend with a couple of tape measure Titanic homers. He's got 17 on the year. Oh, that's going to roll over to no man's land, and O'Neill Cruz is aboard. It goes up the line. Gino can't get it. Gurriel comes in to pick it up, and it's a double for O'Neill Cruz. That might be the softest double he ever hits.
Yeah, it's one of those off the end of the bat. Third baseman, everybody's playing the shift on him.
I mean, yeah, I think he's got a guilty smile down there, and why not this one? Somehow Gonzo stayed fair.
Yeah, he tried to throw that sweeper, and actually not off the end. It kind of jammed him a little bit, inside-out swing.
Well, here making his Pirate debut at PNC Park, a trade deadline edition. Brian De La Cruz just picked up from Miami this week, where he was leading the Marlins in home runs and runs batted in. And he's in the cleanup spot for the Pirates. Bounce to third. Gino's got it. And quickly Brandon Pfaadt strands that double after 1 at PNC Park. It is 5-0 Diamondbacks. Well, it is a spectacular ballpark here at PNC Park. That, in fact, is our view from the broadcast booth. The Pittsburgh skyline right across the river there, and a 5-0 Diamondback lead. Attention Advantage members, you can earn 20 Advantage points when you enter the bonus word of the series into the Advantage members section of your MLB Ballpark app. Today's bonus word is pierogi. Of course, they have the racing pierogies here. It's not quite the Brewers racing sausages, but it's close. And here's Corbin Carroll, who led off the game with a triple and scored on a throwing error by O'Neill Cruz. And the Diamondbacks put up 3 home runs by the next 3 batters right away. It's 0-2 on Corbin. By the way, the error on Cruz, you mentioned his fielding slump, Gonzo, at shortstop for the Pirates. 21 errors. That's the most of the majors. Corbin Carroll hits it in the air. It's carrying out to right field, but there is De La Cruz just shy of the warning track, and there's one down in the second.
Hey, fans, do you wonder what happens when the D-backs hit 3 home runs today?
Nice catch-up.
When the D-backs hit home runs, you score a free jumbo jack with the purchase of a large drink.
What is going on?
I was a day late and $1 short again.
You doubled up on the Jack in the Box just to get your name on the scoreboard? Here's Marte, who started the 3 consecutive home run parade. This one doesn't quite have the distance. Up the line to Tellez, and quickly 2 down for Ortiz in the second. Jock Peterson, the DH. It's a pretty big contrast for Ortiz. First and second inning, they sent 9 men to the plate in the first, got 5 home, and he's got, let's see, 2 outs on 4 pitches in the second inning as Peterson steps in.
Yeah, and he had the velocity, but his location in that first inning was not good on those home runs. I mean, you saw that first one go out as a fastball at 95, and then the second one went out on Jock Peterson on a breaking ball, and then, of course, Josh Bell jumped on a heater also.
Yeah, you miss your spots in this league, and they get you. 2-0 on Jock. Peterson in his last 9 games has been an extra base hit machine. 2 triples, a double, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. He's been killing the ball, and that's not counting his home run tonight. He's had 3 balls and no strikes. Ortiz already at 40 pitches. And Josh Bell, who homered on his first Diamondback swing, waiting on deck. Second walk issued by Ortiz, and here comes Josh Bell.
Well, I think one thing with Jock Peterson you're going to get from him as a professional AB every time he's out there. He's going to work the count. He's going to jump on mistakes when he gets them.
Josh Bell making his Diamondback debut where he began his career here in Pittsburgh, and he homered on his first Diamondback swing. And as you said, Gonzo, he had been very hot with Miami when he was acquired. He had hit 5 homers in his last 7 games with the Marlins, and he's already 1 for 1 in the home run department as a Diamondback.
It's a good way to get yourself known with the D-backs fans in a hurry, isn't it?
Well, Mike Hazen pointed out that this is a veteran player, great teammate everywhere he's been. He's got a long track record of getting on base, something the Diamondbacks place a high priority on. And he's ahead in the count here, 2 balls and no strikes. This was Josh Bell on his first Diamondback swing in the first inning. He's done that once or twice here in this ballpark before. An all-star with the Pirates in 2019. He had 37 home runs that year with Pittsburgh. Rolls off the side of the mound right to O'Neill Cruz. They get the force on Peterson. And it's a quick second for Ortiz, but he's down 5-0.
Diamondbacks are going to be led by their right-handed starter, Brandon Pfaadt.
Swing and a miss, swing and a miss. On the corner, he dotted his sweeper.
He's getting stronger and stronger as this game goes on.
Brandon Pfaadt has got it rolling. Brandon Pfaadt, outstanding. Double-digit strikeouts for Brandon Pfaadt.
He is just dominating.
And he has become, in one sense, the glue on this staff. Well, last week against these Pirates, Brandon Pfaadt got through 6 innings again, got his 5th win of the year. Got 3 outs in the first, and now Rowdy Tellez, the big first baseman, starts the Pirates' second. Tellez first season with Pittsburgh. Played in all 3 games in their series at Houston, was just 1 for 9. He struck out 5 times. Of course, he was returning for the Pirates in that Houston series after he was unavailable for much of the set at Chase Field over the weekend. Might recall he had to leave early in that opener on Friday with some back spasms. It's good to see him up and around again now. 2-1.
I think Brandon just needs to pitch ahead now. Just try to get ahead of the count and go right after these guys. You got a 5-run lead. Let your defense do some work.
That shadow working its way out toward most of the outfield. If you get a look at Lourdes Gurriel in left field, he is right on the edge of that shadow, and Lourdes has to really fight the sun to pick up the ball as it's thrown. He'll get into a crouch and try to block it with his. I mean, look at that. He is really up against it right now. 3-1 to Tellez. Got him.
Boy, and Gurriel's not really playing straight up left field. He's playing over, trying to get into that shade part.
It's hard to blame him. Got that one by Tellez, and it's full.
I'm sure he's told Alec Thomas where he's at, and if there's a ball hit to left center field, that he primarily will have that option to take over that ball over Gurriel.
Yeah, if either Thomas or Gurriel has to go back toward that north side notch, the 410 mark, they're going to have to fight the sun. But other than that, everyone else is in the shadow. 3-2 from Brandon Pfaadt. Being careful with Tellez, missed away. First walk for Brandon brings up the catcher Joey Bart. I would think, based on what we saw from the Diamondback hitters top first, you want to be careful when there's a left-hand power hitter up there, especially with a 5-0 lead.
Yeah, and I think for him, he's just got to stay aggressive in the zone. You don't want to start falling behind too many guys, but I'm sure he knows the power that Tellez has.
You can pick your battles with some of these lefties. Bart the catcher. Right at the knees for strike one. The former Giant, 262 and 7 homers. Rolled to third. Gino. Little bobble there. Marte close at first, and they're able to turn the double play as Bart gets up that line a little bit slowly. 5-4-3, 2 down in the second. Looked like this was a little slow to get started by Gino, Gonzo.
Yeah, that ball just kind of hugged the ground. It looked like he couldn't get it out of his glove at first, but of course the pitcher's best friend, get that ball on the ground, let your infielders do the work.
That's where that sinker has really helped out Brandon Pfaadt. 2 down for Brian Hayes. That's slicing on a play. This is the guy that has been something of a mystery for the Pirates this year. His bat has vanished. The OPS down roughly 175 points from last year. He's well under 600 OPS and has been giving Pittsburgh very little offensively these days.
He's one of those young kids that they signed to a long-term deal.
He's got a base hit the other way here, and a 2-on runner for the Pirates. Might recall the Arizona native Nick Gonzalez is the usual second baseman for the Pirates. He's out with a hamstring injury right now, so Jared Triolo is getting a run at second. Or Gonzalez, pardon me, had a groin injury suffered at Chase Field last weekend. And so Triolo has taken over at second. There's the sweeper for a strike. 205 and 4 homers. just barely foul at third. They caught a break there.
You see Gabby just really emphasizing when he sets up, he's trying to stay low in that strike zone. This is a ballpark that if you can get that ball in the air, it'll carry for you.
Yeah, we saw that certainly the first inning.
Yeah.
Shadow is certainly lessened to a great degree for Gurriel in left right now. So he's no longer fighting the sun so badly. 0-2 from Brandon Pfaadt. Once more, just missed at third.
Yeah, Gurriel's about a couple pitches away from being able to relax out there in left field.
It's moving pretty rapidly out there. The lights are on here at the ballpark. It's been a beautiful, steamy summer afternoon here in Pittsburgh. Had some rain earlier this morning.
The glasses have come up. That means that sun's not in his face anymore.
He was really fighting it there for a bit. Again on 0-2. Just missed up and away. Josh Bell holding Hayes on the base at first. Triolo hits it out to right. Corbin Carroll has got it. And 2 scoreless for Brandon Pfaadt, who has a 5-0 lead in Pittsburgh. Get ready for the Phillies. They are coming to town August 8, 9, 10, and 11. That's right, a big 4-game weekend series. It's the NLCS rematch round 2. All 4 games. You can be there with us. Phillies coming to town. dbacks.com for your tickets. Got some great giveaways during that series as well. Check it out. dbacks.com/specials. Gurriel, who's singled and scored in the first, leads off the third against the right-hander Luis Ortiz. So Lourdes has got it rolling. He's put together a 10-game hitting streak and is hitting over 370 during that streak. Get this one up in the air. Light sky, very shallow center. They got it surrounded out there. Triolo is called off, and Michael A. Taylor collects it for the first out. Well, it looks like Gonzalo Ortiz, who may have been shell-shocked in that first, has settled down nicely. Had a very quiet second, worked around that 2-out walk to Peterson, and now there's one down here in the third.
Yeah, I think he tried to muscle up and just overpower the D-backs in that first inning, and they were jumping all over everything. He was leaving over the middle part of the plate.
He was very careful with Gabby, who drew a base on balls his first time up. Fastball inside, strike 1, says Ramon DeJesus. One went off the limestone back there. Missed everything back there. Front door slider got there, and it's 1-2.
You're seeing the location now. He's starting to pitch in and out, like stay on that inner edge, staying on the corners.
He's hit 50 pitches in the game, Luis Ortiz, 30 for strikes.
I think he figured out after that first inning that down the middle stuff isn't going to get any outs against this ball club.
Wouldn't be the first plan of attack. This will back up De La Cruz in right, still backing up, and he stumbles onto the track but hangs on. Brian De La Cruz making his PNC Park debut as a Pirate. I'll bring up Eugenio Suarez. We know it's Gino. Time for the Coors Light beating the pressure. How about this? Major League Baseball ranks in July Suarez among the league's most dangerous hitters last month. Nearly hit another one out here in his first time up. Hit it about 409 feet into that 410 notch in left center.
And this game is all about confidence, and you could see this past month he just walks up to the plate a little different, the swagger. He's always been the same guy in the clubhouse.
Oh, no doubt. And defensively as well.
And defensively, you're exactly right. Everybody loves him. Everybody's just waiting to get that Suarez that they've seen that's always put up those big numbers, and he's starting to do it now.
He had 7 hits, scored 7 runs in that 3-game sweep of the Nationals this week, including that 3-homer game on Tuesday at Chase Field. This is popped up to second. Triolo's got it. It's a 1-2-3 third for Ortiz. Todd Walsh chats with Zach Gallen from the dugout when we come back.
Bertheu mentioned a remarkable opportunity once again to hang out inside the Arizona Diamondbacks dugout. We have our own fan, which is nice. I'm Todd Walsh with Zach Gallen. And Zach, I want to start, if you don't mind, with the mentality of a starting pitcher. What does a 5-run lead do to you and your mentality and maybe even your execution and your plan if you've got that lead before the game even starts for you?
Yeah, it can be a little tricky. It's obviously nice, but I try to treat it as it's 0-0. That's where it can be a little tricky because you're still trying to make really good pitches where you want to kind of get ahead and I wouldn't say be in the middle of the plate, but you don't need to be as fine. But I still treat it like it's 0-0 because at any point it could swing. So you gotta treat it like it's 0-0 in my opinion.
I was going to ask you about this team's swagger. We know what you just did in July, but does that first inning answer that question? I mean, does it feel like it's back?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've been playing really well, obviously. I think best record in July. And then, we've added some pieces. It goes back to the culture we built here. We struggled in the first half, I guess you could say. We're just trying to keep our head above water. And we knew if we could just kind of stay at that spot, it would hopefully and eventually come together.
I'd like to ask about your last start. We didn't get a chance to hear from you on the post-game show. It's been an off day away for you, but as you look back on it, how effective do you think you were?
Yeah, I felt pretty good. That was probably the first time in, I'd say, a while, really, that I've had a feel for all 4 pitches, and that's kind of what I'm shooting for. I know that's not always the case. You got to go out there and kind of make some stuff up sometimes when you're out there. So, yeah, it's good. It's good when you have all 4. It makes your job a little bit easier. Yeah, just tried to help us get the sweep.
Want to look ahead. Eduardo Rodriguez is with the group. We may see him in Cleveland. Hillsborough just tweeted that your guy, Merrill Kelly, is making a rehab start. What does that feel like for the rotation moving forward? And also looking back on the guys that have stepped up.
Yeah, for sure. It's huge. We've been waiting on those guys for a few months now. And, just how much they mean. I mean, Eduardo's been doing it a long time. He's had a lot of success in this game. And then just how much, Merrill's meant to us. He kind of just stabilizes everything. So yeah, it's great. I'm excited for those guys to come back. But at the same time, you got guys like Fott and you got guys like Ryan Nelson that have stepped up and have done their job. And so yeah, we've got a lot of guys that put the hard work in and put us in this spot.
Before I let you go, what will you guys do as a group, not just the whole team, but specifically the group of pitchers, to sort of rally around your guy, your closer, Paul Sewald? He's hit a bump. Everybody has moments like that, but I know how tight you guys are as a pitching staff.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of people forget how hard this game is. I think you get to the highest level and you watch it on TV, and that's why guys get to the highest level, because they make a hard game look easy. But at the same time, nobody's immune to those bumps in the road. The game gets hard at some point in time. And, Paul's been doing this a long time. He's had a lot of success. He was one of the biggest pieces for us making that run last year. Every time he came in the game, it was a shutdown. So we don't have much worry, and Paul is going to figure it out. I think, maybe him just taking a step back, getting back to where he was, he's going to be fine. So he'll be good.
You're a good man, Zach. Do you mind if I take this fan over here? You don't need it, do you?
Yeah, if you can fit it in your pocket, you can take it with you.
I will do that with a clipboard in a confident way. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks.
Right. Steve, that's Zach Allen.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Zach. Always good to hear from the Diamondbacks during our games. We won't see Zach in this series. We will see him in Cleveland. And as Todd mentioned, maybe Eduardo Rodriguez as well. The E-Rod is here and all smiles. He looks good to go. And now Todd reporting Merrill Kelly making a rehab start with Hillsborough right now. So, boy, Gonzo thinks they're coming back in waves here.
Yeah, those are the trades within the trades. You never had to move anybody. You just got those guys sitting there hoping that they can get back healthy and be strong for that stretch run for the D-backs.
Yeah, Mike Hayes in the front office, then able to add 2 bullpen arms and get Josh Bell to play first base. He's already made his presence felt here. And of course, A.J. Puck has been a tremendous addition in the bullpen. 1-2 on Andrew McCutchen. And that sinker just off the corner. Never did get back there for Fott, and it's 2-2. Jordan Montgomery goes here Saturday, then Ryan Nelson Sunday. We're off to Cleveland for 3 against the Guardians after that. That stays fair at third, backhanded by Suarez, and we know it's Gino. Boy, that's already taken off. 2 outs in the third. That's a Mark Grace nickname.
Oh, is it?
You don't seem impressed.
Oh.
I didn't know if you had any input in that.
I did not. I
know you're big in the marketing department.
No, didn't know anything about that.
I heard you on the radio singing a song.
Yeah, that's not good either.
I thought you might be involved. Ryan Reynolds. Torrey was funny in the office. He said to you, "Did I hear you singing a song on the radio the other day?"
I didn't even want to ask if he turned it up or turned it down.
Changed the channel. Reynolds struck out looking his first time up. That's rolled over to first. Josh Bell's got it. And a 1-2-3 third for Brandon Fott, who leads it 5-0 in Pittsburgh.
we know it's Gino. It rolls off the tongue.
We know it's Gino. Yeah, I love that. I love that, how that sounds. I love that.
Steve Berthiaume, that was just for you. Earlier today, I had a chance to tell Gino Suarez that we came up with an ad campaign with all due and profound respect, and he's all in. It was officially endorsed by our candidate for the National League Player of the Month. We know it's Gino.
I can say I voted for him yesterday, so fingers crossed. Now that was Todd. That was a Gracie invention, right? Is that the genesis of this?
No. It was Brett Hansen.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Brett Hansen was there. Yep.
Yeah, he's the P.T. Barnum of your staff.
Got to do everything, right? Well, hopefully by the time we get back from Cleveland, there'll be We Know It's Gino T-shirts in the team shop. Maybe like a silhouette of a guy with a ponytail or something.
There you go.
I think that might have some legs. Alec misses that slider. Let's give credit to Ortiz here, who had a nightmare start. First 4 batters all scored, 3 consecutive home runs. It was a 5-0 Diamondback first, but since then, Ortiz has set down 4 straight and 9 of the last 10. Didn't quite get Alec to bite on that slider, and it's 2-2. So he has certainly settled down. He's not given up a hit since that Gurriel infield single in the first. Good take right there. Full count, 3-2. Perdomo on deck, and then it's Corbin Carroll. 60 pitches for Luis Ortiz, barely half for strikes. And he walks Thomas to lead off the 4th. That's the 3rd base on balls issued by the Pirate right-hander here tonight.
It's a good AB. Got to 2 strikes and worked the count. Got a walk out of it.
Bottom of the order rallies. That's so often how they start. A walk to the 8 or 9 man. And here is Perdomo, who struck out looking in the first.
Oh, he almost took out Josh Bell there on that one.
We just got him. Don't hurt him.
Yeah.
Well, he's hard to miss. He's a big dude. A home run on his first swing as a Diamondback back in Pittsburgh. Well, Ortiz just working Perdomo down and in with that breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, and that slider was a tough pitch for Perdomo to get to, just right under his hands at his back foot.
Right behind Dave McKay at first.
And Ortiz got away with that pitch. That ball was right down the middle. 4-seam fastball, but when the hitter has 2 strikes, he's a little bit more protective, and you're looking more on the edges than right down the middle to protect.
And when he's got 2 strikes on him, Perdomo seems to get extra pesky. He's a tough out, and he'll check on Alec over there. Diamondbacks 5 runs on 5 hits. They've hit 3 home runs, 3 consecutive home runs in the first. Pirates no runs, 2 hits. And Perdomo pops it up third base side. Keep Brian Hayes over there near the screen. He's got just enough room in front of that netting. And that's the first out in the 4th. So here is Corbin Carroll, who tripled and scored on a throwing error by O'Neill Cruz. On a relay throw, Corbin went all the way around the bases. So he has now reached base in 19 consecutive games. He has tripled, scored, and flied out. He scored 17 runs during his 19-game on-base streak. And Corbin actually led the National League in runs scored last month. He scored 22 runs in 23 games in July. And second on that list, only 1 behind, was Gino Suarez. We know it's Gino, hashtag. Hayes in on the grass at third. Anticipating a bunt. Ortiz working those lefties down with that slider. It's 2-0.
Yeah, usually Alec Thomas would have been gone by now running. You don't know. I mean, he had that injury earlier in the season with a hamstring.
Yeah, missed 3 months.
So maybe he's not just as aggressive over there. You never know.
Tellez holding him on the base at first. Popped up behind the mound. Here comes O'Neill Cruz. 2 outs in the 4th. Well, I'll tell you what, it was a nightmare first inning for Ortiz, but he has been exceptional ever since the start of the 2nd. His walk to hasn't given up a hit. He's kept it 5-0, and here's Ketel Marte.
Yeah, and I think he's settled down in his location where he wants to throw the ball. He's been using the inside part of the plate and the outside part of the plate and keeping it up in the zone, just trying to mix up the looks that he's given the D-back hitters.
He has been a good pitcher this year for the Pirates. Ortiz made his first 21 appearances this year out of their bullpen after he started 15 games last season. They moved him back into the rotation this year. His first start for Pittsburgh didn't come until June 26th, but he is 2-0 in his 5 starts this year. That's a bouncer to second. Triolo has got it. And we go to the 4th, leading the Pirates 5-0. Well, there it is, the authentic player edition of the National League Championship ring, and one lucky fan will get his or hers very own. It's a personalized player's edition of last year's National League Championship ring, the same one that went to all the players here. You can purchase raffle tickets and enter to win that ring at dbacks.com/ring raffle. That ring can be yours. Well, that's something, huh?
It's a nice ring.
That was spectacular. O'Neill Cruz leads off the 4th. He has one of 2 Pittsburgh hits, a double that kind of squirted up the right field line, or left field line his first time up.
Be a lucky fan that'll get to sport that ring around town.
It's a big one too.
Definitely an eye catcher.
Josh Bell needs a new bat, or Cruz does. Remember, he had a big series against the Diamondbacks in Phoenix last weekend, but they moved on to Houston, and he had a rough time of it. 1 for 13 with 9 strikeouts in those 3 games this week against the Astros. Hit those 2 long home runs, one of them off Brandon Pfaadt last weekend. He had 4 hits, walked twice, scored 4 runs in that 3-game set at Chase. Knuckles this one to center, and it drops in front of Alec. And O'Neill Cruz is 2 for 2.
Where this ball just stays on the inner half. He fights it off. A line drive, kind of knuckles out there to Alec Thomas. Plays it on a hop, gets it in.
Brian De La Cruz, one of the new Pirates. Pirates were buyers at the trade deadline. That's not happened around here in a while. And they got De La Cruz from the Marlins. He was having a very good year in Miami, leading the club in homers and RBIs, and has taken over the right field job here.
Well, I think the Marlins had to have a second team waiting at the hotel after the trade deadline just to bring those guys in.
It was a bit of a fire sale for sure. De La Cruz singled twice in his Pirate debut Wednesday. They played at Houston. He caught up with them there. His first game at PNC Park is tonight after his trade to Pittsburgh. Says he already feels like part of the family, and that's a special word here in this town after the famous 1979 We Are Family Sister Sledge World Series champs. Beat the Orioles in 7 that year with the stars on the hats that Willie Stargell would hand out an award as the team captain. Pirates outfield as a unit has really underperformed offensively. They have been getting very little from their outfield, so that's another reason they wanted De La Cruz. Someone, Ben Charrington, their GM, said they had looked at for a while. And now here he is.
You bring in a guy with 18 home runs and 51 RBIs.
He's kind of a quiet, under the radar, solid player. 27 years old, De La Cruz. Been a little below average defensively, which is why he's in right field, which, as we explained earlier, is the quote unquote easiest outfield of the three in this ballpark. None are really easy, but left field in particular is difficult. There's a lot of room out there in center. Right fielder here plays in front of that short fence. Full count, 3-2 on De La Cruz. Rowdy Tellez on deck. He walked his first time up. Cruz at first. De La Cruz up there at the plate with a full count. Diamondbacks with a 5-run first, including 3 consecutive home runs. They do not have a base hit since that first inning. But Brandon Pfaadt has made that lead stand up. He's only given up 3 hits. Cruz holds it first. Look out, the bat shatters right toward Gino Suarez at third. Oh my goodness, that's a spear. I mean, you worry about splinters, something like that. And the other end of it went way out right at third base. Mike Ribello coaching down there picks up the rest of it. Again on 3-2. O'Neill Cruz still holding. Double play ball for Perdomo, who charges. They're going to settle for 1. No chance to get O'Neill Cruz at second, and that's the first out of the 4th. Just hit too slowly, too shallow in the infield. Well, last time up, Brandon Pfaadt was appearing to be very careful with big Rowdy Tellez, the left-hand power hitter. Brandon at 50 pitches, 35 for strikes. Tellez, last time the Pirates were home against St. Louis, hit one into the Allegheny River. He's got light tower power.
And he just challenged him with that first pitch fastball, 94 right down the middle.
Stole strike 1. And then got in a wave at that pitch. It's 0-2.
And he took a little bit off of that one away, down and away. See what he comes with now. He can waste a couple pitches if he wants to. Doesn't have to go right at him.
That changeup is a pitch that's starting to make itself a bigger presence in the Brandon Pfaadt arsenal. He threw a good one right there and just barely missed with that sweeper, and it's 1-2. So really mixing things up here second time through. You can see the sweat on Brandon Pfaadt's jersey. It is very humid here tonight and sticky. 1-2. Comes in and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Rowdy Tellez. Tellez clobbered 35 homers for the Brewers 2 years ago. Had some forearm and finger injuries in Milwaukee last year. Signed with the Pirates on a 1-year deal in December, his first season in Pittsburgh.
Nice try by that ball person down the right field line there. Tried to make a diving play.
You got to want it. Hashtag want.
What's the effort here?
Well, effort is, I think, the strong word.
Ball got by him.
I look at it as falling down, but all right, 2-2. Up the middle, Perdomo smothers it. Gets up, plants and throws. What a play up the middle by Geraldo Perdomo, who likely just saved a run. Cruz stops at third.
Boy, this is just an outstanding play right here by Perdomo. Knows the runner, knows he's got a little bit of extra time. Just a full extension play there, makes a perfect throw over to first base.
So Cruz into third, 2 down now for the catcher Joey Bart, who hit into a double play in the second. Might have a violation here, timer violation being assessed by Ramon DeJesus on Brandon Pfaadt, so that's a no pitch and an automatic ball. Bart had 5 hits over his 2 games in Houston, including a home run Wednesday against the Astros that he hit over the train tracks over there at Minute Maid Park. Pirates won 2 of 3 in that series. Didn't go. Junior Valentine says no, and it's 2-0. Bart swinging the bat really well right now. He's got 11 RBIs in his last 15 games. As the Pirates try to solidify that catching situation. Even after they took Henry Davis with a first overall pick a few years ago. Chase that sweeper. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, that sweeper really gave Bart a hard time right there. He just missed it by a couple feet.
Two outs. O'Neill Cruz down at third. Check swing foul, 2-2. Joey Bart, the number 2 overall pick by the Giants out of Georgia Tech. It just never worked out for him in 4 years in San Francisco. Giants moved on. He was DFA'd at the end of spring training this year. Shortly afterward, sent here to Pittsburgh for a minor leaguer. Derek Shelton was saying, look, he was a really high draft pick for the Giants. It just didn't go in the time frame that San Francisco needed it to, so the Pirates saw a chance to get someone who's a good player. Having good at bats, he's been taking advantage of his opportunity here, Joey Bart. Fought now at 60 pitches. Kind of yanked that sinker a bit, and Bart's run the count full 3-2. Brandon so far not getting a ton of swing and miss. He's only got 1 strikeout. We see that from Brandon Pfaadt now and again. He becomes more of almost a ground ball pitcher than a strikeout pitcher. And Bart has worked the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that's going to drive in the first Pirate run. Joey Bart, the 2-out RBI knock, and it's 5-1.
Boy, and that was a sweeper, just stayed on the inner part of the plate. I think the simple fact that he can't throw that pitch away right now, he just left it middle in. And you see it starts at Bart, stays on the inner side part of the plate. Well, you got to wonder too, with him perspiring as much as he is up there, if that ball's starting to get a little lathered up for him.
He just tried to sneak it through, but Bart able to stay inside the ball and deliver the run. Here's Brian Hayes, who singled out to right his first time. Another misfire on the sweeper, 1-0.
I know a couple pitchers I used to play with, they would have a couple extra jerseys down in that tunnel down there. They have the fan going, and they would switch it up just to get out of that sweaty jersey.
Sweaty is a good way to describe the weather today, no doubt. Sweeper lands that time. Ball and a strike. On Ke'Bryan Hayes. Former first rounder by the Pirates out of high school in Tomball, Texas. The son of longtime major leaguer Charlie Hayes. Fouled back. Fastball, and it's 1-2. Pirates in the spring of 22 committed to Ke'Bryan Hayes as one of their franchise building blocks. He got 8 years and $70 million guaranteed. Won a Gold Glove at third base last year for Derek Shelton and the Pirates. Shelton in the middle there. First time in 10 years that Nolan Arenado didn't win the Gold Glove at third base in the National League. That's a decade-long stranglehold on the Gold Glove award.
Yes, it is.
But Ke'Bryan Hayes broke through last year. Pirates now with 4 hits. They have a run home here in the 4th. And a 2-2 count on Ke'Bryan Hayes. Foul tip. Gabby hangs on, and that's the end of the inning. Second strikeout for Font. Pirates get 1 after 4. It's 5-1 Diamondbacks.
You know, watching these guys from afar, I saw them up close when I was playing in San Diego a couple of years ago. It was kind of before he started, you know, taking the league by storm. But even then, I was like, these young guys coming up, they're playing the game the right way, you know, running the bases hard. Obviously, the arms have spoken for themselves the last few years. So happy to be a part, and hopefully I can help this team win.
Well, you got to go off a pretty good start. That's the newest Diamondback, Josh Bell. Todd Walsh back here at PNC Park. We'll see him coming up as the second batter this inning. And Steve, real quick, he was appreciative that Mike Hazen and the Diamondbacks told him, hey, stay on this side of the country. We'll meet you in Pittsburgh. But it was his wife who broke the news to him because, well, she was monitoring social media and said, hey, it's Arizona. Then he got the calls. How about that?
Social media. Well, it's good to stay ahead of the curve. He's a welcome sight, Josh Bell, and what a start it was. A home run in his first swing as a Diamondback, and was followed or preceded by Josh Peterson's home run, 79th into the Allegheny River. Josh's 16th home run this year. Marte, Peterson, and Bell, 2, 3, and 4, all homered consecutively in the first. Off Luis Ortiz, who has settled down nicely. He's not given up a hit since the first inning. And he strikes out Peterson, so Ortiz has now retired 4 in a row and 13 of the last 15. And here comes Josh Bell, who was only the second Diamondback ever to hit a home run on his very first pitch faced as a Diamondback. The first ever was Didi Gregorius.
Oh, wow.
I remember that at Yankee Stadium, April of 2013.
Would have never guessed.
A home run for Josh, his first as a Diamondback, obviously, the 15th of his season. coming over from Miami at the trade deadline. So Bell has now homered, including his tenure with the Marlins, 6 times in 8 games. You talk about a hot streak. Here he is.
Boy, and I think the timing of this trade couldn't have been any better with Christian Walker going down. Then you picked up another veteran guy in the middle of the batting order, guy with some home run power.
Well, Mike Hazen talked about that with us in the booth the other day, and they had to kind of call an audible when they got the news on Christian Walker that morning, the morning of the trade deadline Tuesday, and they were able to pivot a bit and go after Josh Bell, and so far so good.
Oh, and he's a switch hitter too, so that gives Torrey another option, especially if he's coming off the bench later on in the season.
And Torrey talked about a difficult conversation with Pavin Smith, who may have saved the game the other day with a great defensive play and has done well. But Pavin option to Reno to make way for Josh Bell, and here he is, the first pitch he sees as a Diamondback at Pittsburgh, where he was an all-star over the course of his 5-year career here. And a big hug from Geraldo Perdomo. Welcome. This one is tapped to Ke'Bryan Hayes in the 6-hole down there at third. 2 outs in the 5th. Well, the Diamondbacks, Gonzo, do this from time to time when they put up a big crooked number in the 1st or 2nd inning, and then offensively it's crickets the rest of the way, and that appears to be what's happening here tonight.
You got to find a way to just start mustering up some offense here, get a couple runners on any way that you can.
Hurt is singled and scored in the 1st.
Oh boy,
something happened there.
Oh, that ball just got on him. I think felt.
No, Ramon De Jesus is signaling fair ball, and now Tellez has it. He'll step on the base, and he's out. But is Lourdes Gurriel Jr. okay? That was bizarre.
Well, I think that ball was at him. He was really trying to get out of the way, and I think it hit his bat.
Yep, and it stayed fair, and it took a long time for Ortiz to figure out what was happening, and he finally did throw it over to first. So let's get a look at this. Get off me, ball. Hey. With you from PNC Park in Pittsburgh. There they are, 2 of the top 3 National Leaguers in terms of OPS. Ketel Marte and Shohei Ohtani will go head-to-head later this month for a 4-game set at Chase Field, and you can be there with us. Diamondbacks and Dodgers. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. A little conference out on the mound right now. Boy, Brandon Pfaadt looks sweaty. I'm not sure what this is all about as we get ready to start the inning. It is, as we've mentioned, very humid, very sticky here. August in Pennsylvania. Jared Triolo, everything appears to be okay, will lead off the 5th for the Pirates. Triolo lined out to right to win the 2nd his first time up.
Boy, Bert, this is probably one of the nicest times of the night out here with the view that we have.
It is that golden hour here where the setting sun behind us reflects off the buildings of downtown Pittsburgh, right across the Allegheny here, the spectacular skyline, the Clemente Bridge. It is just a spectacular scene here at this ballpark, which is just one of the most lovely ballparks in the majors. It is a must visit for any baseball fan.
It's always a fun walk home too after the game.
Your buddy will be waiting for you on the bridge.
The saxophone guy will be waiting on me.
Why does he have such a problem with you? That's
I don't even know if he knew I was a player, to be honest with you.
It's gone on for years.
He's plucked me out every year.
It's amazing. He has an eagle eye.
He sees me coming from halfway across the bridge.
Well, it's a gentleman that stands on the Clemente Bridge out there with a saxophone, and he kind of stands up on the railing and looks for Gonzo, and when he spots him, I would describe it as confrontational.
Just a little.
Suarez in front of Perdomo. We know it's Gino, and there's one away.
Just a little confrontation.
It's mostly in good humor.
Sure.
Mostly.
Is that what you call it?
Well, it's always fun to walk back with you to the hotel because you never know what's going to happen.
That sax is going to end up in the river.
Something's going to end up in the river. Something or someone. Here's Michael A. Taylor. But yeah, lovely night here. Great view from this ballpark. A sweeper from Fott. Taylor is swinging a miss. He flied out his first time up. I mean, if you're a pitcher in this environment, there's a strike with the sinker. You really got to hydrate him, and he is, as you can see, working up a sweat.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just surprised that he hasn't changed his jersey top. Most pitchers would do that, but I don't think he wears an undershirt.
You shouldn't wear one on a day like this. No, I mean, I can't imagine how hot that would be.
Yeah, most players wear an undershirt under their game jersey.
All right. Well, Brandon, as we know, goes deep into his starts. He began tonight 7th in the National League in innings pitched. And he's out there now at 75 pitches with 1 out in the 5th. Right at the knees, called strike 3, rings up Taylor. 3rd strikeout for Brandon Fott, and there's 2 down.
Boy, just a great pitch, great location.
Got to bring up Andrew McCutchen, who's 0 for 2 in the leadoff spot, the DH. Brandon against the Pirates last weekend in Phoenix was in near total command until things got a little wobbly in the 5th inning last week. He finished giving up 5 runs, 7 hits, and 6. But that line is a little deceiving. He was in control throughout the game with the exception of that 1 inning. But he was able to get through 6 as he almost always does and collect win number 5 on the year. Knocking on the door of 80 pitches with 2 down in this 5th inning. And McCutchen does an offer out there at the sweeper. That's a fair ball over the bag and down the line. It caroms off the seats out there, and McCutchen has an easy double. That went right over the 3rd base bag. Just the 5th hit for the Pirates.
Boy, and he wanted that pitch away. It just leaked over the middle part of the plate, and he hit it right down that line. There's been a couple balls that just barely missed being fair, and this one just caught the inside part of the bag.
Well, you would have liked to, if you're Brandon, get out of the inning here, because now you've got McCutchen at 2nd base with 2 outs. So the big boys coming up. Here's Brian Reynolds, who bats 2nd, the All-Star. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Went out there and chased that changeup that kind of floated up and away for strike 1. Reynolds begins this series hitting better than .340 in his last 20 games. He was in all-star form for much of July. And that'll get in another run. He splits the gap in left center. McCutcheon coming around, no problem. Reynolds digging for second, and he's got the RBI double. Back-to-back two-out doubles for the Pirates, and it's 5-2.
He shoots that ball into left center field. Gurriel with the spin throw to second, just a little bit offline. Reynolds makes it into second base.
O'Neill Cruz, 2 for 2 so far. Got to be careful here. Remember, Cruz last week in Phoenix hit a ball 472 feet off Brandon Pfaadt. They cleared everything out there in right center at Chase. Cruz doubled in the first, singled and scored in the fourth. This can happen with Brandon occasionally. He will be in near total command in a game, and then somewhere in the middle has one inning where things get away from him for just a bit before he regroups. Back-to-back two-out hits have cut the lead to 3. And that one got there on the edge, 2-2. A curveball from Pfaadt. We've seen the occasional changeup and curveball from Brandon tonight. A look inside the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Kevin Ginkel starts to get loose.
Boy, that's a great location. He went outside with that backdoor breaking ball, and then he tried to come inside right there with that four-seam fastball. Just trying to keep O'Neill Cruz honest here.
He is much more problematic, O'Neill Cruz, in his home ballpark than he is on the road. 17 homers this year, 11 have come at PNC Park. And there's another two-out hit. And another Pirate run coming home. It's 5-3. 3 consecutive hits with 2 outs against Pfaadt. O'Neill Cruz 3 for 3. And here comes Brent Strom.
Well, watch the location on this pitch, just right down the middle part of the plate for a left-handed hitter. That's where you like it, down. We saw Jock Peterson hit one in the river earlier. Pretty fortunate there that O'Neill was only able to get a single out of that.
Brandon Pfaadt, as Torrey likes to say, book it for 6 innings for Pfaadt. He has completed at least 16 times in his last 19 starts, but he's on the back foot here in the 5th and approaching 90 pitches in a very humid, sticky night here. And the Pirates, who were down 5-0, have made it a 5-3 ball game, and their new acquisition, Brian De La Cruz, the cleanup hitter, steps up to the plate. And suddenly it's Pittsburgh that has the momentum. De La Cruz in his PNC Park debut as a Pirate, just acquired for the Marlins, has grounded out twice. He's 0 for 2. Chase that sweeper way out there, and it's strike 1. De La Cruz arrives with a 6-game hitting streak. He's got 14 hits in his last 9 games between the Marlins and the Pirates. He's had a very lively bat. Cruz 9 for 10 in his stolen base attempts. He can really run. Holds it first. Sinkers low, a ball and a strike on Brian De La Cruz.
Well, the Pirates have put themselves right back in this game with a 2-out rally now.
Got the tying run at the plate in the 5th inning. Fought 90 pitches, 61 strikes. He has walked 1, struck out 3. Pirates have now out-hit the Diamondbacks 7-5. Just off the edge with a fastball. Ramon DeJesus says no. It's 2-1. Big cut at that sweeper. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brandon looking for the pitch that's going to get him out of this inning. 3 consecutive have reached with 2 outs. Tellez waiting on deck. Two, too tall, and it's full. Ginkel warming up in the bullpen. 3-2 on Brian De La Cruz. And there's a disengagement.
They wanted to say it was a second because he threw over to first.
Yep, there's Derek Shelton out there. And Ramon DeJesus immediately waved him off. Now he's going to check with Adrian Johnson, the crew chief, at third. There's always some confusion whether it's a disengagement or a mound visit or if the batter calls timeout. Now the crew chief will check with the plate umpire. Everybody agrees that's 2 disengagements for Brandon Pfaadt. So there's no penalty, but he's not allowed any more. And he needs to make a pitch to De La Cruz and get out of this inning. They got the first 2 quickly, and then 3 consecutive hits. Here it is. Here goes Cruz from first. Shattered bat all over the place.
Boy, same way as he did the last time, just off the end of the bat.
I was going to say, that's the same guy that had the big splinter earlier. He's going to have to get some better wood.
And those are usually off the end of the bat. It's a cup bat. See there?
And there's kindling all over the place.
There's a little hole at the top of it that kind of takes a little bit of the weight off the top end part of the bat just to make it lighter up top, and that's where that ball hit. He's done it twice. His last at bat in this one.
Boy, Pfaadt's throwing the whole arsenal in this start. All 5. Again on 3-2. O'Neill Cruz on the run. Got a fastball out in front.
Well, we talked about the person in right field. The one in left made that play look easy down there. The ball person.
.95 pitches now for Pfaadt. He might be on his last leg in this 5th inning. Cruz on the run again. Rounded to short. Perdomo able to make the play, and Pfaadt is out of the 5th, but the Pirates get 2, and they are within 2. It's 5-3 Diamondbacks. long fifth inning for Brandon Pfaadt, nearing 100 pitches on a steamy Pittsburgh evening here, and might be done after 5 innings, but he leaves with a 5-3 lead. Despite the fact that the Pirates have out-hit the Diamondbacks 7-5 in the ball game so far. You can suit up this year at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of official jerseys, caps, t-shirts, and more. Gear up with your Arizona Diamondbacks at MLBshop.com. Gabriel Moreno leads off the 6th against Luis Ortiz, who had a nightmare first inning, 5 runs, including 3 consecutive home runs. But since then, he has been absolute lights out. He's only walked 2 batters, and he has set down 6 in a row, and 15 of the last 17 Diamondbacks he's faced. And Gonzo, the offense has been put to bed since that 5-run first.
Yeah, the script kind of flipped on the D-backs there. It was Pfaadt who was struggling in the bottom half of the 5th inning now, so they got to find a way to get some runners on to get some more runs. This Pirates team's not going to give in.
Well, good start for Gabby, who walked in the first. Had 3 balls and no strikes here to open up the 6th. Cutter's in there for a strike. Gabby hitting just about .330 in 21 games since he came off the injured list after that left thumb bruise. Suarez on deck, then it's Alek Thomas. Full count, 3-2. That slider stuck through the front door. A walk to Peterson in the 2nd, and a walk to Thomas to lead off the 4th. Those have been the only Diamondbacks base runners since the 1st inning. 3-2. Gabby, in his 21 games since he's come off the injured list, has more walks than strikeouts. And the Diamondbacks in those 21 games are 14-7. And he's been in the thick of things.
Well, he's done a great job of making the adjustment. Early part of the season, he was trying to pull a lot of baseballs.
Yeah.
And then as of late, he's usually really using that right side of the field, right center field, right field line. And his average has really jumped up.
Certainly not afraid to hit with 2 strikes by any stretch. Fights that one off. It bounces up the line, but right to Rowdy Tellez. And that's 7 straight set down by Ortiz.
Well, I tell you, that sinker must be really running in on those guys' hands. We saw it to Gurriel, and then we've seen it again here to Gabby.
Pirate bullpen starts to get busy. One of their trade deadline acquisitions, the left-hander Jalen Beeks, starts to get loose. Pirates were buyers at the deadline. Beeks picked up from the Rockies on Monday. Suarez nearly hit another home run. He hit it to the north side notch, as they call it, in left center field. It's 410 out there. He hit it about 409. So he is 0 for 2. That's fouled back. I'm not sure Bart knows where it is. And it's behind the screen anyway, but Joey Bart just couldn't spot that one. I'm sure it's very helpful when everyone yells, "It's up there."
Yeah. You know, it's that time of the night too, and he's catching, so he doesn't see it off the bat going straight up.
Yeah, about 8:20 local time, so it's still pretty light sky here at Pittsburgh. And now you got to get all rewired up. 0-2 count on Suarez. Beautiful PNC Park. This is a spectacular ballpark on a beautiful night in downtown Pittsburgh, PA. Gino bloops it down the line. It's headed for the corner. Reynolds over to cut it off. And we know it's Gino. It's a 1-out double.
Watch Gino take this breaking ball 0-2. He just kind of flips it out there, down and away, hooks it down that left field line.
That's the first Diamondback hit since the 5th batter of the ball game. Gurriel single in the 1st. And that might be it for Ortiz. They've got Alek Thomas coming up. They have a left-hander ready in their bullpen, and Ortiz who really did a nice job setting down 16 of 18 before the Suarez double. Beeks on his way in. We're back from Pittsburgh in a moment. There's the Clemente Bridge across the Allegheny River, downtown Pittsburgh. In the background there, we're inside PNC Park. Riverboats going down. Lovely night here in Pittsburgh. Pirates at the trade deadline were buyers this year, and here's one of the guys they went out and got. It's the left-hander Jalen Beeks, picked up for the Rockies on Monday. His 6th season in the big leagues. He's been with Tampa Bay or the Red Sox, Colorado, now the Pirates. This is his 2nd Pittsburgh appearance, and brought on to face Alek Thomas.
And he's that left-hander bringing 95-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball, changeup, cutter, curveball guy. Just a new look. Get another lefty out in that bullpen. It's always a hot commodity to get those left-handers. Just as we've seen the D-backs do with
A.J. Buck. Yep. He has been impressive. There's a cutter for strike one to Alek, who has grounded into an out for an RBI. He walked his last time up.
And every team is looking for those lefties out of the pen to neutralize the big left-handed hitters on the opposing teams.
Well, the Diamondbacks got themselves a good one, and that was part of the questions fielded by Torey Lovello before the game today, Gonzo. Is A.J. Puck going to be the new closer? Torey says he's going to play with matchups. They're taking Paul Sewald out of that spot for the time being, and the question remains, who goes in? Alek rolls it into right field. They're going to wave Suarez. De La Cruz has got a throwing arm. It's cut off by Tellez and knocked down. Alek back to the bag at first, and it's 6-3 Diamondbacks. De La Cruz came up firing, and Tellez cut it off.
A nice job right there by Alek Thomas to get that base hit between first and second. Not only that, but the base running part, he saw him cut it off. He hit the brakes, was going to try to retreat. Once Tellez dropped that ball, he had an opportunity to get back.
Just kind of knocked it down. Not sure if they would have had a play on Suarez coming around, but De La Cruz got a pretty good arm out there. In any case, it's another RBI for Alek in a 6-3 Diamondback lead. Their first 2 hits since the first inning. And it's strike one to Geraldo Perdomo, who's 0 for 2. Oh, fastball's a strike, 0-2.
Boy, that's a big confidence builder, too, for Alek Thomas coming in. They bring the left-hander in to get you. You hit that ball between first and second. Able to pick up that RBI, his 2nd one of the day.
Each team now with 7 hits. You're worried about that Diamondback offense. No hits since the first, but back-to-back one-out hits here in the 6th.
And I think one thing different from last year's team to this year with the Diamondbacks, they gained a lot of experience, but they're not running the bases quite like they did last year.
Well, it's a slightly different personnel makeup, but yeah, you're right. It's not quite the level of chaos we've seen in the past. Perdomo strikes out for the 2nd time. They're going to leave the lefty in there to face Corbin Carroll. the third batter for Beeks, who has to face his requisite 3 before they could go to Santana, who they picked up from the Mets warming up in the bullpen. Brian Hayes several steps in on the grass at third, and there's strike 1. Corbin tripled to lead off the game, came all the way around on a throwing error on the relay by O'Neill Cruz. And then the next 3 Diamondback hitters homered: Marte, Peterson, Bell consecutively. Run in, 2 outs. Alec Thomas at first base. 0-2 on Corbin Carroll. Corbin pokes it right to Triolo at second, and they get the force on Alec. Diamondbacks back-to-back hits, pick up a run. They lead it 6-3. Kevin Ginkel getting loose. Upcoming schedule brought to you by Desert Financial. 2 more to go here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, where the Diamondbacks will get Mitch Keller tomorrow and the All-Star starter Paul Skeens on Sunday. Make sure you're tuned into that one, 10:30 in the morning Arizona time. Then we take a bus, Gonzo, to Cleveland for 3 against those first-place Guardians.
Boy, that'll be a lot of fun. You know, going into Cleveland, nobody expected them to be where they're at right now. I mean, they've really shocked the baseball world, being at the top of that National League Central.
Playing very well, and we anticipate seeing Eduardo Rodriguez make his Diamondback debut in that series at some point. Here's Kevin Ginkel, who worked a pair of relief outings against the Pirates last weekend at Chase Field. On to start the 6th inning here tonight at PNC Park. He faces Rowdy Tellez. So if you're wondering who the closer is going to be, or if there even will be one regular person doing it, Torey Lovullo says he's going to play matchups. You can cross Kevin Ginkel for the moment off your list of candidates. Here he is in the 6th inning. Torey said you'll figure out his plan pretty quickly once you see it. And we'll find out who might close with what for the moment is the 3-run lead. Paul Sewald no longer the closer. That was one of the topics Torey Lovullo talked about today. They had some conversations with Paul, and they're going to take him out of that role for now, let him catch his breath.
Well, and I think he used that term with the kind of wait and see, because I think if Mantiply comes into this game early, then he'll use Puck probably later on in the game, like the 9th inning if he has to. But if those lefties are matched up earlier in the game and he's got to use them in critical parts, he may go with one of those big right-handers out there.
Boy, Ginkel, 98, dotted it right there and rings up Rowdy Tellez. Kevin Ginkel throwing fire down there for the first out. Look at this pitch. Boom.
Boy, and that's just paint.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do with that pitch right there at 98.
Joey Bart, an RBI single in the 4th, 1 for 2. D-backs with a 6-3 lead. Each team has 7 hits. You mentioned A.J. Puck. That's the dilemma for Torey Lovullo and the coaches in terms of who closes games. If you save A.J. Puck for the 9th and make him, using a little air quotes, the closer, then you don't have him available for a matchup left-on-left situation in the 7th or 8th inning.
Right.
And you don't want to lose that. It's been a tremendous advantage. We've already seen that since A.J. arrived. So you don't want to throw that away. It's not the simple solution, I guess, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, and I think the situation will dictate that. If there's 2nd and 3rd in the 7th or 8th inning and he's got to go to him with a big, tough left-hander coming up, I don't think he'd have an issue with that.
You want to have A.J. available and not have to save him for the 9th. And, of course, Kevin has closer experience. He's familiar with that role.
But you got to be happy the way the D-backs kind of addressed this issue here at the trade deadline. They went out and said, we're going to get our needs. And then, of course, picking up Josh Bell when Christian Walker went down, that was a big blow. But then you pick up a power bat.
Up and in on Joey Bart, 3-1.
Yeah. And then you go out and pick up a couple bullpen arms, which is something that's been a necessity for the D-backs.
Dylan Floro and A.J. Puck.
And then you know you got the 2 big guys down in the minor leagues that have been rehabbing, getting ready to come back. That's going to be an addition with Merrill Kelly down there also.
Yeah, Merrill on a rehab outing with Hillsborough. Boy, Ginkel just pounding Bart up and in. He nearly hit him a couple of times. Bart slams the bat down, and he will take his base. I don't think Joey appreciated that sequence.
He's got to dial that compass back in. He painted a couple pitches against the left-hander. And he just kind of lost it there against Joey Bart.
Well, Kevin, remember when Paul Sewald missed the first 6 weeks of the year with that oblique coming out of spring training? Kevin was the closer. He had 5 saves in April for the Diamondbacks, so he could certainly handle that. He had 4 saves last year. We'll find out together. Hayes singled and struck out 1 for 2. Kevin, you might recall, really labored through a 30-pitch 8th inning Wednesday in that win over Washington. And they gave up a run on 3 hits in that inning against the Nationals. So far, a strikeout and a walk here. Right on the corner with that slider, and it's 1-2 on Ke'Bryan Hayes. 48th appearance of the year for Kevin Ginkel. Joey Bart's at first with 1 out. Chop fair. Hit the bag. Fair ball. Finally got a signal there from Ramon DeJesus. That's his call, the plate umpire, and it just would not take a left there, Gonzo. Stayed fair the whole way.
Yeah, and that's the only play Suarez had right here, just to let it roll, hope that it could get foul, and it just stayed right over the bag.
So back-to-back reach, a walk and an infield hit with 1 out ahead of Jared Triolo, the second baseman, 0 for 2. Hayes 2 for 3 tonight. Disengagement for Ginkel, keeping an eye on Joey Bart behind him at second. Pittsburgh now with 8 hits. Took a big cut at the Ginkel slider, and it's 0-1. Nick Gonzalez suffered a groin injury against the Diamondbacks last weekend. He's on the injured list, so Triolo stepped in. Started all 3 games at second base in their series at Houston this week. Had 3 hits and scored 4 runs. So he's getting a runway here. Ginkel almost hit Bart a couple of times, and he nicked Triolo there. And now suddenly the bases are loaded with 1 out. A walk, a single, and a hit batter for Ginkel. And Michael A. Taylor will be the hitter. Brent Strom out to the mound. This is kind of what happened to Ginkel Wednesday against Washington when he had that long inning.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's just trying to overthrow pitches and then he ends up losing control.
30 pitches Wednesday for Kevin in that 8th inning against the Nationals. 18 for strikes. Gave up 3 hits in that inning and struggled a bit. He's got to reset the compass here. Tying runs aboard for the Pirates with 1 out, and here is Taylor, who's 0 for 2.
Oh, this is the number 9 guy in the order. You'd like to get him. You got McCutchen on deck, dangerous hitter.
Joey Bart, the runner at third base with a walk. Brian Hayes had the infield single at first. Triolo got hit with a pitch, and now here's Taylor.
You'd like to get a ground ball double play, but you got to turn it quick because Taylor can run.
Taylor goes into this game sitting on 99 career home runs. He just doubled his season home run total in Houston this week, where he homered twice. His first season in Pittsburgh.
He got Puck getting hot out there in the bullpen. That answers the question about later on in this ball game.
Well, you're in a jam right here. A.J. Puck, the left-hander. Might want to flip Reynolds around, who bats second, the switch hitter, make him hit right-handed. And then after that, you have O'Neill Cruz. That's why you don't want to make A.J. Puck your closer. You need him earlier than that. 2-1. Ginkel again having a rough one here. Out of play.
Boy, and that pitch was center cut, about thigh high.
Fastball at 96. 20 pitches and counting for Kevin. He's only got 1 out. McCutchen waiting on deck. Puck warming up in the bullpen. 2-2 to Michael A. Taylor. A little low. Taylor, good take right there. Didn't offer it that, and he's run the count full 3-2. And the fans at PNC Park getting up. 3-2 from Ginkel. Perdomo stops it, and they get 1. Run comes in as Bart scores. They get the force on Triolo, and it's 6-4. Another spectacular play by Geraldo Perdomo.
And they may challenge this call at second base.
Was awful close. Jonathan Parra, the umpire down there.
Oh, they're going to say it was on. Great play by Perdomo.
Sensational.
Look at this. He's made a couple of these tonight. One to his left and now to his right. Makes a good throw over to second base. Nice stretch too there by Marte. Able to keep his foot on the bag long enough.
Perdomo has saved with his defense 2 runs tonight at least. McCutchen is the hitter. Joey Labello going to take the ball from Ginkel. They're going to go to A.J. Puck as Kevin is done in the inning. A.J. on his way in. We're back from Pittsburgh in a moment.
PNC Park in Pittsburgh, where the Diamondbacks had a 5-0 lead after the first inning. They were up 6-3 in the sixth, but Pittsburgh has scored in 3 consecutive innings now to make it 6-4. And the call has gone out for the left-hander A.J. Puck, a trade deadline acquisition for the Marlins. His 4th appearance with the Diamondbacks. This is like a convention of guys who were traded from the Marlins this series. There's like 4 or 5 of them down there.
It's a reunion game for everybody.
Brian De La Cruz, A.J. Puck, Josh Bell, all former Marlins, all joining their new teams here. McCutchen doubled and scored his last time up. He's 1 for 3.
Well, this is a big spot for Puck right here to try to pick up the D-backs and get him out of this inning.
Hayes at third, Taylor's at first. Andrew McCutchen hits a high fly ball toward the left field corner and foul. That was way up there. He was sitting on a fastball and he yanked it foul.
Well, called a long strike right there. He's got another opportunity right here. Now he's ahead in the count.
Well, he figured, seeing A.J. Puck, he was going to get upper 90s. And he drops it into right field. Hayes is home, Taylor to third, and it's a 1-run game. For McCutchen, his 799th career RBI as a Pirate. And he's 2 for 4.
Well, at 97, but it's a good pitch from McCutchen to stay inside on right down the middle.
Taylor into third. Pirates with 1 in the 4th. 2 in the 5th, 2 more home in this 6th. Tying runs 90 feet away with 2 outs. And they flip the all-star Brian Reynolds around to bat for the right-hand side. He had an RBI double in the 5th. Reynolds jumps on the first one and ties the ball game. They had a 5-0 lead in the first. It's 6-6 in the 6th.
Well, the one thing, the D-backs won't get rattled here. They'll find a way. They just got to get out of this inning right here and get their offense back in there.
O'Neill Cruz, the 8th man to bat in the Pittsburgh 6th. He is 3 for 3. McCutchen at second base, Reynolds at first. Cruz has singled twice and doubled.
He got buckled a little bit on that slider.
He was 1 for 13 with 9 strikeouts in their series at Houston this week. He's 3 for 3 tonight. Pittsburgh has now out-hit the Diamondbacks 10-7. A 5-0 first inning lead has vanished. A 1-1. Roll to second. Marte knocks it down. They're going to wave McCutchen. Here's the throw. Gabby got him. McCutchen insists he's safe. But Ramon DeJesus says you're out. Derek Shelton wants to make sure. An aggressive send right there by Mike Rabello, the third base coach, and the Pirates will challenge.
He went to the outside part of the plate. Gabby did a nice job of getting there. It's just all a matter of did he get his hand in.
Pittsburgh is challenging the out call at home plate.
Oh, he might have beat it.
Yeah, I think he did.
I think it's certainly worth the challenge for the Pirates. They're in the middle of a big inning. They'd like to extend it, but that looked like McCutchen got a hand in there. In any case, it's the 4th hit for O'Neill Cruz, who's 4 for 4. Here's a different angle.
Does he get the hand in before the tag?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, they're showing it on the big screen too, and it looks like he got his hand in there.
He'll take a look in New York. Crew chief Adrian Johnson waiting for the word. Mike Ribello, the third base coach, saw Marte knock that ball down. It kind of checked up in very short right, and when he saw that, he sent McCutchen home, and he may have given the Pirates the lead. They're taking a long look in New York. There they are, a live look in Midtown Manhattan Replay Operations Center. Pirates were down 5-0 after one. They were down 6-3 in this inning. Will they take a 7-6 lead? We're waiting to find out. They're looking at it right now. Bottom of your screen, the replay review room. Look at all those angles in New York. And they're being very careful here to get this right, as they should. That is a spectacular facility. We had a tour last year. Looks like Adrian Johnson has the word.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is safe. Pittsburgh retains their challenge.
McCutchen insisted he was safe. He jumped up and immediately signaled safe. Here's a look. The hand snuck in ahead of the tag. And the Pirates have come back from 5-0 down. O'Neill Cruz, the RBI, 4 for 4. Here's Brian De La Cruz. It's a 4-run Pittsburgh 6. They've scored in 3 consecutive innings. A.J. Puck has faced 3 batters. He's given up 3 RBI hits. De La Cruz making his Pirate debut at PNC Park. He joined them the other day in Houston. He is the 9th man to bat in this inning for Pittsburgh.
Well, we got to find a way to get this final out of the inning.
Reynolds is at third. O'Neill Cruz, who has his first 4-hit game this year, standing down at first. Fair at third for Suarez. Long throw. Bell able to keep a foot on the bag, and they get the out. But the Pirates send 9 men to the plate. They get 4 home in the 6th and take a 7-6 lead. Diamondbacks hit 3 consecutive home runs in the first inning. First Ketel Marte, then Jock Peterson, then Josh Bell. Here's Jock Peterson's home run captured by the T-Mobile coverage cam into the Allegheny River. One hop on the walkway out there and then into the water. And that's captured by the T-Mobile coverage cam, 430 feet. Diamondbacks open this game with a 5-run first. The first 6 batters reached. They started the game triple homer, homer, homer. 15 total bases by the first 4 batters to start a game. That's the first time that's happened in the history of Major League Baseball. And here is the left-hander Aroldis Chapman on to face Ketel Marte to start the 7th inning, his 46th appearance of the year. Ketel hit the first of those 3 consecutive homers back in the first inning. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Now can the Diamondbacks answer back? The offense has been very quiet ever since that 5-run first. They did get 1 across in the 6th. They were up 5-0 and 6-3. They trail at 7-6.
Well, this is the meat part of the order here, the 2, 3, 4 guys. This is where you hope that they can do some damage.
Well, we know what Marte has done against lefties this year, but got a pretty good one out there for the Pirates. 2-0. Ketel coming off a big July, hit 357 in July with 7 home runs, and he has a home run tonight in his first August game of the year, his 25th this season.
Yeah, Bert, you talked about it. The D-backs jumped out to that 5-run lead, and then they shut it down for the next 4 innings, and then they scored 1 in the 6th. But the Pirates were just pecking away in the 4th, 5th, and then dropped the 4 spot on them in the 6th, getting right back in this game.
They've out-hit the Diamondbacks 11-7, and it looked like in that first inning the Diamondbacks might win the game 100-0. But Pittsburgh, their starter Ortiz settled down very well. Gave up only 1 hit after the first inning, and that was in the 6th. He sat down 16 of the final 18 he faced, and he gave the offense a chance to catch up, and they've done exactly that. And it wasn't doom and gloom for the Pirates when they were down 5-0 after a half inning. You watch 3 consecutive balls go into the river, and that can wear you down a little bit, but Pittsburgh has battled back.
He's going to take his time out, just kind of regroup, fix his batting gloves, get right back in there. 2-2 count.
No one in the majors has more home runs against left-hand pitchers than Ketel Marte. 1-0-2. That's off the corner. Good call by Ramon DeJesus. Just off the edge, and it's full 3-2, and a tough take there by Marte.
Yeah, and Bart tried to bring that pitch in. Try to get the call.
That was just off the edge. That one was a little closer. Just took a couple of miles per hour off. Only 100 that time, but it was just as effective.
And Marte knew it. You know, about 3/4 of the way it locked him up right here. You see him freeze up on it.
I mean, that at 100 miles an hour right on the corner. He's been doing that for a long time. Jock Peterson. Jock has homered, walked, and struck out 1 for 2. The home run is 16th of the year. So Jock in his last 10 games tonight included has 2 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs. We've mentioned the weather conditions here. We had some rain early this morning. It has been hot, muggy, sticky all day long and all night long, but whatever wind there was earlier has died. It is dead still down there right now. A lot of humidity in the air. Jock pokes that foul.
Boy, Jock doesn't look too comfortable up there with that 100-mile-an-hour pitches, and then the breaking ball there. It looked like he was bailing out on it. He hadn't seen too many hard-throwing left-handers being the DH for most part of the year against right-handed guys.
Or any left-handers at all this year, Jock Peterson. Jock is 4 for 19 versus lefties this year. Does have 1 home run. 101 from Chapman, and he struck out the first 2.
And this one, usually where Jock likes it, the middle part of the plate in, but a little bit of extra sauce on it with 101. Just wasn't able to catch up to it.
Josh Bell homered on his very first pitch he saw as a Diamondback, his 15th of the year, acquired for the Marlins. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Switch hitter now batting from the right-hand side. Fights that one off foul down the right field line. Josh Bell, in terms of both average and power, best when he's batting left-handed. That applies both this season and for his career.
Let's see if they stay inside on him, try to tie him up. Don't want him to get his arms extended.
Boy, Chapman is feeling it. He's been consistently north of 100, and he is absolutely dotting the edges of the zone. He's a strike away from getting there. 2, 3, and 4 hitters and striking out the side in the 7th. Josh Bell lifts it pretty deep. There it goes. Josh Bell has tied the ball game. His first Diamondback ball game, and he's homered twice. Back in Pittsburgh, and it's 7-7. The 4th Diamondback home run tonight, and the 2nd by the newest D-back, Josh Bell. Boy, and De La Cruz barely even moved in right.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he ran 2 in. He tried to set up in, and look at where this pitch is, out over the outer part of the plate. Just like we talked about, you don't want this guy to get his arms extended, and he did, and he shot it up into the right field seats.
Opposite field power. No doubter for Josh Bell. He's had 2 hits as a Diamondback, both home runs. And now the batter is Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Back and forth we go. Lourdes sends one out there. De La Cruz to the track, and he's got it. Josh Bell, red hot. He's got 7 homers in his last 8 games, and we are tied at 7 in the 7th. Back with you from PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Steve Berthiaume, Luis Gonzalez, and Todd Walsh. It's been a wild one. The Jimmy John's game summary. Brandon Pfaadt went 5. Diamondbacks had a 5-0 lead after 1. They had 3 consecutive homers in the first. And the Pirates took the lead after getting 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and 4 in the 6th to take a 7-6 lead. But Josh Bell, in his Diamondback debut, the former Pirate All-Star, has homered twice. The second one just tied it up. And in a game in which we're riddled here with former Marlins acquired at the deadline by both clubs, here's another one. the right-hander Dylan Floro. 51 appearances acquired this time from the Washington Nationals, making his Diamondback debut, picked up on Tuesday at the deadline.
And Dylan's going to be a guy, sinker, slider, four-seam fastball, changeup.
Floro pitched 3 years with the Marlins. This was his first season in Washington, where he made 51 appearances and pitched very well, that 2.06 ERA. Rowdy Tellez leads it off for the Pirates, who have scored in 3 straight innings. They got a 4-run 6 to take a lead, and now here we are, 7-7 in the 7th. Floro last pitched Sunday for the Nationals at St. Louis. I should say a week ago Sunday. And then over the weekend, or this week, walked across the field and switched clubhouses at trade deadline day. So here he is. Line to third, and we know it's Gino. There's one away.
It's all about positioning there, and Gino playing right at the right spot. Off the line at third base, in the hole at short. This line drives right at him.
Dylan Floro, 33-year-old right-hander. Strike one to Joey Bart. Bart has hit into a double play. He's got an RBI single. He's walked and scored. And he's found a home, it looks like, here in Pittsburgh after 4 years with the Giants. Floro has been an established Major League grown-up relief pitcher for 9 seasons. He is a veteran. This is not his first rodeo. 3 years with the Dodgers. We often saw him working against the Diamondbacks. Spent 3 seasons in Miami. Traded by the Marlins to the Twins at the deadline last year. Signed with Washington this winter, and now a Diamondback. Slow roller to short, right to Perdomo. And they retired Joey Bart for out number 2. Next Friday night, fans, the Diamondbacks Foundation will give you the opportunity to receive a limited edition autographed National League Championship mystery bat during the annual D-Backs Give Back broadcast fundraiser. That's coming up next Friday night. Tune in next Friday, 6:15. Find out how. dbacks.com/giveback, our annual broadcast fundraiser. You can you can get an autographed NLCS championship mystery bat. How about that?
Boy, all the big boys are on that list.
Yep. Keep Brian Hayes.
Well, and Floro, with his motion that he has, he kind of throws a crossfire, looked right into that right-hand hitter, and then goes across his body.
This is along the right field line for Corbin Carroll, and welcome to the Diamondbacks, Dylan Floro, who after a bumpy 5th and 6th gets a quiet 1-2-3 7th, and we are still tied.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Josh Bell in his Diamondback debut back in Pittsburgh, where he began his career, has homered twice. And here we are, 7-7. It's been another wild Diamondback ball game. Our first game in August after the club went 17-8 in July, the best record of the major leagues last month. Here is Colin Holderman, his 42nd appearance for Pittsburgh. See that 2.31 ERA. He's been outstanding this year, but he did have a blown save Wednesday at Houston. And he's been scored on now in both his last two appearances. Gabriel Moreno, 0 for 2 with a walk, leads off the 8th. Diamondbacks have won 7 of 8. They've won 13 of their last 17. They are a season high 7 games over 500. They led this one 5-0 after the first inning. And 6-3. And Gabby Lane is open in Pittsburgh. Moreno gets it started in the 8th. On board for the second time tonight, and that's Gonzo, your trademark Moreno base hit.
Sure is. Does a nice job there, just standing inside that baseball, hitting it to right field for a base hit. Look at this. He just kind of got that pitch down and in, but not even thinking about pulling it.
Oh, a chance now for Suarez, who doubled and scored his last time up.
It's a nice start to the inning. We'll take an extra base hit here if we can get one from Suarez.
Sweepers in there for a strike.
He's been seeing the ball well.
Gino, 7 hits, scored 7 runs in that sweep of the Nationals this week. Had the big 3-homer game Tuesday at Chase. And way out there to get that one, and it's 0-2.
That sweeper was way off the plate.
Alec Thomas on deck. 7 runs, 11 hits for the Pirates. 7 runs, 9 hits for the Diamondbacks. D-backs hit 3 consecutive home runs in the first inning. Marte, Peterson, Bell. After Corbin Carroll had tripled and scored on a throwing error by O'Neill Cruz. It was a wild start to the game. The first 6 batters reached. They had a 5-0 lead after 1. But it has been a raucous affair ever since. The bats went to sleep for much of the game, and the Pirates were able to catch up and in fact take the lead. But Josh Bell's homer in the top half of this inning has tied it up. Popped it up. Rowdy Tellez near first in foul territory, and that's the first out in the 8th. We're back with you tomorrow. 3:30 in the afternoon. Arizona time. Jordan Montgomery, the left-hander, gets the start against right-hander Mitch Keller. And then a breakfast with the Diamondbacks broadcast Sunday morning as Ryan Nelson draws Paul Skeens, the rookie sensation. National League All-Star starter, goes for the Pirates. Then we're off to Cleveland. Alec had an RBI single his last time up. He's knocked in 2 runs. He's walked as well. He's had a good night. Gabby on the move, and he's in there easily. No throw from Joey Bart back there. Moreno with his 3rd stolen base.
Nice job by Gabby there, and you got to give credit to Dave McKay. They've read that pitcher. They know exactly what they're doing out there in the base pass. There you see, just kind of snuck one in there.
Of course, Mack and the entire coaching staff just saw the Pirates for 3 games last weekend, so they may have picked up something here and there on some of these guys. RBI chance for Alec. Base hit can give them the lead. There's the strike on 2-0.
Yeah, good chance right here from Thomas to pick up that 3rd RBI for himself.
Seen Alec a lot lately in batting practice. Practice shooting that ball through the 6-hole, and it's open right now with O'Neill Cruz, the shortstop, near that second base bag. Hayes not too far off the third base bag. There's room in that 6-hole for him if he wants to push it the other way. He's going to pop this up down the line and in the seats out of play.
Full count, 3-2. Bullpen has been a bit of a misadventure here tonight. After Paul Sewald was removed from the closer's role, Justin Martinez is up. We've seen Ginkel, Puck, and Floro. 3-2 to Thomas on the way. Alec lines it right at Triolo at second. And that's a big time hang with him. And that was right on the button, but right at the second baseman.
Well, it sure was. You couldn't hit it any better.
And Gabby able to get back to the bag. 2 down now. It's up to Perdomo, who's 0 for 3.
This guy's come up with some big hits for the D-backs, and D-backs have been one of the best with 2 strikes, with 2 outs, excuse me.
And it's time for a mound visit real quick. This is Oscar Marine, the pitching coach. .30 tomorrow, Jordan Montgomery and Mitch Keller. 10:30 in the morning Sunday, Ryan Nelson against Paul Skeens. Don't miss that one. Going to be a lot of fastballs in that game.
You sure will. Bert, the D-backs since July 22nd, they've had a .301 average coming into today's game. That's the they're the highest in the majors, ahead of the Padres that were at .281. So they've been getting it done with 2 outs. We're looking for a big one right here with a 2-out hit.
Moreno's at second. Perdomo, the hitter, 0 for 3. He struck out twice. Hayes running in from third. And Holderman lands that sweeper right on the corner for strike 1. Diamondbacks led at 5-0 and 6-3. They trailed at 7-6. Now we're tied at 7. And a base hit here can give them the lead. But it's 0-2 on Perdomo with 2 outs. Ouch. And Geraldo is down.
Oh, it hit. Looks like he's grabbing his kneecap.
Oh boy,
that's not good.
Remember the right knee, that's the one on which he had the meniscus surgery. Max Esposito, the athletic trainer, out to have a look.
Yep.
Oh man,
that's got to hurt a lot, right on the kneecap. He is still down.
Well, you talk about all the good players that the D-backs have on this club. He's the heart and soul of the team.
In so many ways. When he came back from the knee surgery and started hitting in his usual spot at the bottom of the order, the whole offense got going. And he's up and walking around. But that hit him square on there. Oh, man. Yeah. He's just going to jog it off, hopefully. He seems to be okay.
He's a tough kid. He worked his tail off to get back into that lineup.
This is the Torey Lovello eye test. Are you sure you're all right?
This is the father-son conversation right there. Torey loves Perdomo, and Perdomo always loves messing around with those guys.
He admits he has been very hard on Jerry. He has turned him into a leader. He has turned him, in Torey's words, into a manager on the field. Everything in that infield runs through Perdomo. And he's back in there on 0-2. That's all the way to the backstop there, and Moreno's into third as Holderman uncorked a sinker that didn't sink. Take one more of those right here. That's a sinker. It's going in the wrong direction. Cleared the limestone back there, so it's 1-2. Perdomo drives it deep to right field. Geraldo Perdomo off the wall. Moreno's home. Perdomo, the 2-strike, 2-out RBI double, and it's 8-7 Diamondbacks. After he took that one right off the knee, he gets up off the ground, and it's a bit of a Willis Reed moment right there.
Boy, you got that breaking ball. Look at the location on it. Down again, middle part of the plate. Boy, how valuable is this guy in the number 9 spot in the lineup?
So impressive. They lead at 8-7. Here's Corbin Carroll. Almost got plunked with that sweeper. That had too much sweep. Corbin tripled in the first to lead it off. He scored on a throwing error on the relay, trying to get him at third by O'Neill Cruz. He went all the way around. One batter in, it was 1-0. The next 3 guys homered. And that's the way this crazy game started. Corbin hits it pretty deep to left. Reynolds backing up in front of the warning track. He's on the track and just shy of the wall. He's got it and hangs on. Moreno, the leadoff single. Geraldo Perdomo got up off the ground and delivered the 2-out RBI hit. That's made it 8-7 Diamondbacks. Back with you from Pittsburgh. This is how this game started for the Diamondbacks. It's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing. Cool plays of the game. Corbin Carroll at triple. He scored on the throwing error on the relay. Then watch where these home runs land. The next 3 Diamondbacks after Corbin homered consecutively. Marte, Peterson into the river, and then Josh Bell on the first pitch he saw as a Diamondback hits it out of here. Back in Pittsburgh, the first of 2 home runs by Josh Bell tonight. Triple, homer, homer, homer. 15 total bases by the first 4 batters of a game. That's the first time that's happened in MLB history. And Justin Martinez is on to start the bottom of the 8th inning against Jared Triolo, his 40th appearance. J. Mart last worked a scoreless 9th to end Tuesday's win over Washington. So Diamondbacks led it 5-0 after 1. They were up 6-3. They trailed at 7-6. It was tied at 7. Now they have an 8-7 lead. Pittsburgh scored runs in 3 consecutive innings. Now the Diamondbacks have scored runs in 3 straight. And it's 1-2 on the Pirates' second baseman. J. Mart with the slider. Triolo chases, and there's 1 away in the game.
I mean, this guy just has filthy stuff. The problem with him is just a consistency part of it, being a young guy out there on the mound. But once he gets that dialed in with this stuff that he has, it's electric. He'll be that guy for the D-backs.
Well, he's had some situations recently where he's been in big spots, some high leverage spots late in games, and has had a meltdown or 2. If he can get the composure, we know about the stuff,
and then they have something really special here.
Well, I think with him too, he's a young kid, and his heart rate starts to go up, and he gets excited, and he wants to throw. He throws already 100. He wants to try to throw 200 out there on the mound.
That's right. You know, sometimes 98 is just as effective as 102.
Yeah, and with him, he's got movement on every one of his pitches. I remember they played Baltimore early in the year, and their players and coaches were wondering, where the heck was this guy?
.102 fouled away by Taylor. Well, Justin twice in a week had wins that got away, became losses in some critical spots against both the Cubs and these Pirates. And the thing that Torey Lovullo always looks for with J. Mart is the swag. You watch the body language. That tells you how he's feeling right away. And he's looking pretty swaggy right now.
That was 90. And watch how fast this ball breaks right here.
Oh, man.
That downward break right there. That's tough for a hitter. Look at that. He's got the split grip on it. Look at this.
Torey Lovullo will tell you that he believes that swagger is who Justin Martinez is, and he wants to see that. Here's McCutchen. McCutchen has doubled, singled, and scored twice in his last 2 at-bats.
You got to be careful with McCutchen because he'll cheat on a pitch, especially.
We saw him do that against A.J. Puck.
With less than 2 strikes, he'll try to jump out early.
102.
That until he gets 2 strikes, and then he'll try to cut it down a little bit. Oh man.
Diamondbacks, who not that long ago were 7 games under 500, they can get to 8 over.
I think McCutchen was looking for a catcher's interference there.
Bednar, the closer. Santana, who looked good at Chase Field last weekend, picked up recently from the Mets.
I think they're going to challenge.
Adrian Johnson coming in.
McCutchen thought he hit Gabby's mitt for catcher's interference.
Pittsburgh is challenging for catcher's interference.
And you got that right. There's the word from the crew chief. Pirates have already won 1 challenge on that play at the plate involving McCutchen and Moreno.
Yep, he did. Pretty easy call here.
The mitt is closing around the ball just as the bat is passing over it.
You still hit the mitt, though. I think is right there. Yeah, I think McCutchen's he's begging for that to be called an interference.
They had a check swing. You got to have definitive evidence to get the call overturned. There was no catcher's interference called by the plate umpire, Ramon De Jesus. There's Adrian Johnson, the crew chief, at 3rd tonight, waiting word from New York. Well, if they can get this call overturned, the Pirates, they would have the tying run aboard with 2 outs for Brian Reynolds, who has RBI hits in his last 2 at-bats.
They have so many angles that they're looking at.
Manaman up. And looks like here is Adrian Johnson.
After review, the call on the field stands. There was no catcher's interference.
Call stands means not enough to get it overturned. So McCutchen will stay put in the batter's box with a 1-2 count. He doesn't seem too upset by the call. It was worth a shot. When you're facing Justin Martinez, they want to give you catcher's interference. He'll take it.
Yes, you will. That's why he was begging for it there. But this is where Martinez has to kind of settle in right here. You just saw right there, he tried to overthrow that breaking ball. His stuff is good enough. You don't have to try to overdo it out there on the mound.
Hey. 101. Sinker in the zone. Andrew McCutchen, now 37 years old. Reynolds, the All-Star, would be next. He has a couple of RBI hits tonight. Get on 2-2. And he's overthrowing now.
Yep. And that's the issue with him. He's got great stuff. He got 2 quick outs, and now he's so hyped up out there right now. He's trying to just gas everything up. Even his breaking balls, he's trying to get more spin on it and ends up throwing it in the dirt.
3-2 to Andrew McCutchen. He overthrew. And Reynolds will get a chance. McCutchen aboard for the 3rd consecutive plate appearance. And here is Reynolds. RBI hits in the 5th and 6th. 2-out walk for Martinez. Well, the Pirates have shown certainly tonight that you give them a chance, they'll take it. And they have an opportunity here. Reynolds hitting .342 in his last 20 games, and he's 2 for 4 tonight.
Well, if it's me, you go out there and you try to settle him down. You just tell him to relax. See here, he's just trying to do a little bit too much.
Yep. Splitters all over the place.
Here's you'd like for Gabby to go out there. And
this is where Perdomo comes in. This is the leadership that we talk about all the time that has been built into Geraldo Perdomo by Torey Lovullo.
Yep, this is a nice pick right here by Gabby.
And Perdomo is out there. It's the shortstop that's giving him the pep talk, and of course Gabby telling him, look, you don't have to throw it 110 all the time.
Well, that's the problem here. Like we talked about earlier, he's such a young player. He's got dominant stuff. But he struck out the first 2 guys, and then he thinks, okay, I got these 2 guys out. I want to dominate the next guy, and you try to overthrow and ends up losing the hitters.
Justin just turned 23 years old the other day. A walk to McCutchen, now behind on Reynolds. 2 balls and no strikes. 102 right on the corner with a sinker. Hopefully that'll settle him down.
That's what we call a good meeting right there. You come out of that meeting, you throw a good strike. Look at that.
100-mile-an-hour sinker right over the top, and it's 2-2. So he's right back in the count. That was a great meeting. It's gone from good to great in 2 pitches.
This is, you know, we talked about the value of the shortstop there. Perdomo doing it again.
He's the guy. Everything runs through him.
Look at that.
Boy, they settled him down. That was a Hall of Fame mound visit from Moreno and Perdomo. 3 strikeouts for J Mart, and it stays 8-7. Josh Bell's first multi-home run game this year comes as a Diamondback. He homered on the first pitch he saw as a D-back, and then this was a big one later in the ball game by Josh Bell in the 7th inning. He's our Bet365 player of the game. Only the second Diamondback with multiple home runs in their first game as a Diamondback. The other was Felipe Lopez, who homered twice back in April of '09 in his D-back debut. And it happened for Bell, coincidentally, not ironically, in Pittsburgh, where he played his first 5 years. Here's Ketel Marte to lead off the 9th against the right-hander Dennis Santana, picked up by the Pirates on waivers from the Mets in June. And we saw Santana last weekend look pretty good for the Pirates. Ketel's already hit one, and there goes another one way back, and it's in the river. There it goes. Ketel Marte has done it again.
Boy, that's a huge homer right there, just to push that deficit to 2 runs now.
Out of the ballpark and through the treetops by the Allegheny River. He homered in the first, and he's homered in the 9th.
Oh, he got that little slider on the inner half part of the plate, and he knew it. He watched it.
That's the 5th Diamondback home run tonight. Bell has homered twice. Marte has homered twice. Peterson hit one into the river in the first. (9-7). Each team now with 11 hits. Oh, that's a good start to the 9th.
It sure is.
Boy, Ketel Marte, he has done it time and time and time again. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
This should be fun. I mean, this team, they made it to the World Series last year, and they know this is a critical part of the season. So hopefully these guys focus in, turn it up a notch here, and try to get that swagger back.
They were the #1 offense in the majors in July in every critical statistical category, and they put up a 9 spot their first game in August. Peterson aboard for the 3rd time tonight, a homer and a couple of walks, and here comes Josh Bell, who has had a sensational Diamondback debut.
He's homered from the left side, he's homered from the right. Yeah, I tell you what, those 2 home runs are great, but the best part of it is seeing Perdomo jump into his hands. That was cute.
McCarthy will run for Peterson. Bell homered his last time up off of Aroldis Chapman, and this from the outstanding Diamondbacks beat reporter for MLB.com, Steve Gilbert. He hit a 102.9 mile-an-hour fastball off Chapman, the fastest pitch ever hit for a home run since they began tracking in 2008.
Oh, wow.
Josh Bell, his home run off the fastest pitch ever, at least since they've tracked this stuff. McCarthy takes off. Joey Bart to throw. It gets into center, and Jay, creating some chaos, heads for 3rd. McCarthy running for Peterson, and he's in at 3rd base.
Boy, and he's put Josh Bell now in a good hitter situation. Got a man on 3rd, nobody out. You're up at the plate, you're loving this situation now. They're bringing the infield in too. This guy will hurt you now with a hard line drive.
Josh Bell hits it in the air, short right. Here comes De La Cruz. McCarthy's going to have to stay put. De La Cruz fires it back into the plate, and that's the first out in the 9th.
Yeah, not deep enough. Didn't want to take that chance there to get him thrown out at the plate. That was a good throw there from the right fielder, De La Cruz.
Lourdes just singled and scored in that 5-run first inning. Gurriel now with a 10-game hitting streak. He is 1 for 4 tonight. Infield still in for Pittsburgh. McCarthy at third base, 1 out, looking for another insurance run after the Marte homer. Broken bat right at O'Neill Cruz, and again Jake has to stay put. 2 outs in the 9th.
Probably not the pitch you want to go after there for the first pitch.
Yeah.
Especially with 1 out and got a runner at third.
It was Moreno who got things started in the 8th inning. Long at bat against Holderman, rolled one through Gabby Lane, stole second, went to third on a wild pitch and scored on that Perdomo 2-strike 2-out RBI double. That made it 8-7. Marte's homers made it 9-7. They can tack on 1 more run with a base hit right here. And it looks like, at least for tonight, Ryan Thompson is the new closer. Torey Lovullo says he will play the matchups. They have run through Ginkel, Puck, Floro, and Justin Martinez. Paul Sewald no longer the closer. They're going to put him on the sideline for a bit, let him catch his breath. It's not a permanent situation. And they're going to see how things go. Two and 1 on Gabby. Pittsburgh in the bottom half of this inning have the big boys coming up. O'Neill Cruz, Brian De La Cruz, and Rowdy Tellez. That is the power hitting portion of their lineup, 3, 4, and 5. Thompson ready in the bullpen. A lot of cut on that cutter, and it's 2-2. Gino hoping to get a chance.
You just need one of those 2-out hits the opposite way, just a little blooper, anything over the second baseman's head. Just stay inside the baseball here.
See Tellez playing well off the bag at first, trying to close off Gabby Lane.
Gabby's hit that ball down that first base line too.
That's true. 2-2 on the way. It's down that line, but foul.
This is where he's gotten better here in the second half of the season. Just trying not to overswing, trying to stay on that baseball a little bit longer and shoot it to right. Unless he gets a mistake pitch in.
Doesn't chase that time. And he's run the count full. Santana got him. They leave that runner at third base, but Ketel Marte pads the lead. A leadoff homer, his second homer tonight, his 26th of the year. It's 9-7 in the 9th.
Back in Pittsburgh, where today before the game the question for Torey Lovullo was, now that Paul Sewald is not the closer, at least for the moment, who is? And Torey said, well, you'll get a look at my plan later tonight. And it looks like for the moment, at least for tonight, Gonzo, it's going to be Ryan Thompson looking for those final 3 outs in the 9th.
Well, he's another guy that could step up right here in a big role. He's been doing well for the D-backs all season long. There you see 32 Ks, 8 walks.
And a pair of scoreless 8th-inning outings in the Pirates series last weekend. Kevin Newman takes over defensively at first base for Josh Bell. And he's going to face the sharp end of the stick here in this Pirate lineup. The power hitters are coming up. O'Neill Cruz, Brian De La Cruz, and Rowdy Tellez, 3, 4, and 5 in the Pittsburgh 9th. And here is O'Neill Cruz, who is 4 for 4. Ryan Thompson had to come in after Paul Sewald had some troubles Wednesday at Chase Field against the Nationals. Got a couple of outs, got his first save of the year, and helped the Diamondbacks complete that sweep.
And I tell you, that extra home run that Marte hit, that extra run tacked on, gives you a little bit of breathing room. You just don't want to get anybody on base. Too bad they couldn't get that other run in from third base with nobody out.
Diamondbacks have scored single-digit runs in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th to take a 9-7 lead. They were down after 6-7-6. It's been a crazy game. Up 5-0 and 6-3. Down 7-6. They've led 8-7 and 9-7. Pokes it toward the left field corner. Drifting out of play, foul.
Well, I tell you, Bert, this game, you would have thought it was going to be a dud out of the gates when the D-backs scored 5. It's turned out to be a pretty interesting game.
Well, I think I'd rather have the dud with a big lead.
There's no doubt, but
than all the drama. But yeah, you're right. It's been a wild one, no doubt.
If you're a baseball fan, I mean, this is what you want to see: 2 teams vying for playoffs. And
that's by Marte, and the tying run's going to come up to the plate. It's a 5-for-5 night for O'Neill Cruz as it gets between Marte and Newman. Post-game preview provided by Talking Stick. Todd Walsh standing by. Brian De La Cruz just acquired the other day from Miami. 0 for 4 in his PNC Park debut as a Pirate.
Oh, he's hit some ground balls today. Let's hope he has one more in him. Turn that double play. You see 4 ground outs, 2 to short and 2 to third.
De La Cruz arrives with a 6-game hitting streak, but hitless so far tonight. O'Neill Cruz on the move, and he's in there with his 10th stolen base.
He got a great jump here, and that takes a double play out of order.
Two balls and 1 strike on Brian De La Cruz. Rounded to third, right to Gino. Looks him back. Cruz back to the bag, and there's out number 1 for Thompson.
Here's that double play ground ball, but with O'Neill stealing second earlier, not able to do it.
The batter is Rowdy Tellez. Tellez 0 for 3, walked against Brandon Fard in the 2nd. Diamondbacks 9 runs, 11 hits. Pittsburgh 7 runs, 12 hits. It has been a wild one here at PNC Park. A little low, it's 2-0. No wind to speak of. Not a breath of air out here. That's a low strike. Keeping that sinker down. Thompson got to go to that rosin bag. Everybody sweating on a steamy night in Pittsburgh. 2-1 fouled away. Joey Bart, the catcher, on deck. O'Neill Cruz down there at second, 1 out in the ninth, 2-2 on big Rowdy Tellez. It just over the head of Marte. They're going to send O'Neill Cruz home. Throw is cut off, and it's 9-8. It's been that kind of night, Gonzo.
Boy, it sure has. And that pitch was down and in for that left-hander. Put a nice swing on it there. Got a pinch runner now coming in for Rowdy. Like Alika Williams. Former ASU Sun Devil.
Former first rounder out of ASU by Tampa Bay. He is the tying run. Joey Bart, the hitter.
Boy, the home run was big by Marte, but not getting that extra run in with a man on third, nobody out, is proven to be even bigger right now.
I heard. As always, Ryan Thompson, 1 ground ball away from end of game.
Oh, you're right, and this is a good candidate right here. Got the catcher up at the plate.
Bart grounded out. I'm sorry, Gonzo. Grounded out into a double play in that second against Brandon Pfaadt. And there's the strike, 1-1. Bart had an RBI single in the 4th. He walked and scored in the 6th. Grounded out his last time up. Slowly hit to third. They get the force, and that's it. They cut down the lead man for the second out. Close at second, but Suarez and Marte got the sure out down there. There's 2 outs.
Boy, that's how good Gino is. He's coming in on that ground ball. Most third basemen would just take the out at first base. He knows how important that runner is to keep him off of second, being the tying run. Watch here. He's going to come in here. Most guys will go to first, but he just makes that strong throw to second on the run.
Yeah, and Williams made that close too. Boy, Suarez's defense. We know it's Gino. He's just been outstanding. Key Brian Hayes, the last man standing for the Pirates. Tying run at first, winning run at the plate, and there's strike 1. Hayes has singled twice and scored. He's 2 for 4 tonight. And Joey Bart, the runner down there at first. Pirates were right behind the Diamondbacks in terms of quality of play in July. Pittsburgh 15-10 last month. That's among the best records in the league. There's a tapper. Thompson's got it, and that's your ball game. A wild one at PNC Park goes the Diamondbacks' way, and baseball's winningest team in July opens August with a 9-8 win.
Well, it was a tough one there at the end, but they proved to have enough gas in the tank to finish him off there to get the W.
Ketel Marte and Josh Bell, multi-home run games. Peterson homered as well.
A crazy ball game here. They led it 5-0. They trailed it 7-6 at one point, and they win it 9-8. And what a remarkable debut for Josh Bell. His first 2-homer game this year. He homered the first pitch he saw as a Diamondback. So a lot to cover for Todd Walsh. Diamondback postgame show is next from Pittsburgh right after this.